Hey everybody. Wasn't anybody streaming? I got bored. Stone Mexican guy left the internet. He got family things to do. Optic's like a new age boomer. He's probably in bed right now. Visions of sugar plums dancing in his head. Everybody that I normally talk to around this time is not around. So I just thought I'd talk to everybody. Just for the hell of it. I hope everybody's doing okay. I hope everything's going fine. Taking a break in between watching.
I hope everybody's doing okay.
Watching, catching up on Lucha Underground. That is, I'm in season 3 right now. And if Pentagon Dark isn't a badass, I don't know who isn't. It's also nice that Vampiro's actually getting his skills up now. Also watched Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency. Damn, that was good. Well, at least good for the first 2 seasons, and then they canceled it. I think they canceled it because of all the Max Landis turmoil about, suspicion of him doing inappropriate sexual things. They tried to say because it didn't score as high as Orphan Black did, and they're full of shit. Because Orphan Black, come on, it's okay, but there's really nothing that can top the imagination of Douglas Adams. For those of you who don't know who Douglas Adams is, he's the guy who wrote The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. He also did Dirk Gently, which I thought Max Landis almost flawlessly adapted. Flawlessly. Holy crap, it's hard to talk. Let's see. And yeah, I went ahead and did a survey, did a poll to find out what I need to do here. And well, I'm coming back here Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. I'm not saying that the Thursday show there was anything bad with it, but I mean, come on, I was competing against 4 other big YouTubers that I actually watch on a Thursday night. So, and I do streaming because it's fun to me. I don't do streaming for notoriety. I don't do streaming for the money, because God knows ever since Adpocalypse hit, really nobody's making any money. And I'm so, let's put it this way, I'm so dirt poor right now, I'm Poe, which means P-O apostrophe. I can't even afford the extra O or the R, and if I don't make my payments, Rent-A-Center is going to come and take that apostrophe away from me. So, I mean, I'm doing it just because I like it. I'm having fun with it. Getting to interview some really interesting people. So incredibly cool. I mean, I don't know if anybody's kept up with my shows or with the shows that I was doing with Sisyphus, with Rolling with Sisyphus, which I know he's getting back up on his feet, and he's got some he's got something new, something exciting for himself that he's going to be laying down. So it's going to be kind of cool. See what he comes up with. I think what he was looking for and what I was looking for were kind of two different things. I've always been I've always been the kind of guy who, likes people like Art Bell or even Mr. Savage because they just, sit down and talk to people. That's what I like doing. I like talking to people. I like seeing where they're at. Um, I've had an incredibly fun time talking to Ghastly, Justin Smith, um, talking to Optic Decay, Otis Gyrie, Aiden Paladin, Beard Barian, Harry Manfredini. We've got a bunch more shows coming up. And sorry to say, but in radio, you rarely ever say the word I. You normally say we. It gives you more authority, gives you a greater scope than just I. It's we. We are doing this. So, more like a team, something like that. And, I kind of consider that the people who actually tune in um, will be part of the team. I do expect quite a bit of people to, if there's somebody that's interesting that I'm speaking with, to please fully take advantage of the questions and answer session. That's never going to go away. Hey Jack, how you doing? And Karen, nothing much going on. I'm just bored. Um, just filling up time until somebody more creative or more entertaining comes online. I think Broski's doing a show tonight at 10. So, even though he's a Canadian, all I'm saying is give him a chance. He might talk about wrestling, but I swear to fucking God, if he brings Chaggett or that skank Corinne back on, I am going to be downvoting him for the rest of his damn life. Because, regardless of how tempting it might be, it's just no fun to pick on the retarded kids. It really isn't. And, that's just really, really easy fodder. I would just as soon not do that. I can give you a bit of an update, though, on we're going to move to Tuesday nights starting in July. And kicking off our first show in July is going to be our buddy, John McIntyre, that you might know as AP the Frog. We've also got Cognitive Thought coming in. We haven't nailed it down for Bearing yet because, for God's sakes, it's a 13, 14-hour difference. So we're going to try to get him in. But I guess I should roll back a little bit. The last two Thursdays in friendly old June, we're going to be having on Rex Effects Studios. They are creature and model makers. They also, they not only make models for action figures, but they also do a little bit on the Hollywood side. And one of the founders of Rex Effects Studios was actually on Jim Henson's Creature Shop. And I think he was a semifinalist. And then, of course, the one that everybody's kind of been waiting for, on the 28th, we will be talking to Kyle Hebert. And another clone that's as close to a Bing Bing Wahoo as I get, because, Kyle Hebert does the narrator voice for Dragon Ball Z. He also does Young Gohan, and he does several voices in the online Dragon Ball Z game. So, there's that to look forward to. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to talking to... Okay, let's just say this. I'm incredibly superstitious when it comes to booking guests. Back in the day, when I was booking for my old show for Blog Talk Radio, there were people that I had booked. They said, yeah, we're coming on. We're going to do it. Blah, blah, blah. And we get to the day. I call their contact number. I call their handler. They're nowhere to be found. So, screwed. And there were a couple of shows that I had to run by myself where it's just, hey, call in and ask me anything. And it was really pretty goddamn boring. I mean, I can keep a show going for 2 hours or so, but me talking about myself, unless it's within casual conversation of, oh yeah, that happened to me once, nah, I just don't like it. I like telling stories. I like telling stories of stupid shit that's happened to me, or stupid shit that's happened to other people when I'm in their presence. Arkansas Anime Festival. Well, let's see. Now, Jack, I know that Kyle does a lot of conventions. As a matter of fact, that was one of the tough parts of trying to get him booked properly, because he was always in transit. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I think the best place to show off Gulf City cartoons, if they can get there, if they can do it. And you know what? I'm just gonna wait a minute. Before I say this, I'm going to go tweet over to Ghastly and AP. Let them know that I'm talking shit about them, because I'm the kind of guy who doesn't like to talk shit behind somebody's back. I am always a man who loves to talk shit face to face, because, hey, you get better reactions that way. Yeah. Okay. Dear AP and Ghastly, I'm talking smack about you. Parentheses, and not sugar smacks. You goddamn frog. I really wish I hadn't failed that typing class. Okay. There we go. Now, I know it was bullshit. I know it was complete and total bullshit that no matter how many times we bombarded Cartoon Network, they did not bother to even give them the time of day, from what I was told. But watching the current lineup that they have right now, Cartoon Network is fucking pathetic. It's a shell of what it used to be. It needs more shows that have bigger balls, that kind of have an adult theme. But all this milquetoast crap that they've been putting out, and I'm not even going to bother to watch Thundercats. It's just not going to happen. Masters of the Universe, they mishandled. So the rebirth of Transformers, they mishandled. But if they put something like Gulf City on, and even leaving all the bleeping, I think that's going to attract more things. Because if you take a look at it, I mean, think about something like Venture Brothers. People are still to this very day. I mean, okay, Venture Brothers season 7, I believe, is supposed to come out in November. And it's been, what, 2.5 years since Venture Brothers has been on, and people still want that cartoon. That cartoon is very adult. It's not very political, but I mean, it's you know, you got your poopy jokes in there too. But yeah, I think instantly it kind of had my heart when uh, the opening of, I think, one of the shows in season 1 or 2, they come out of their jet and everybody's dressed as Rocky Horror Picture Show characters. They really didn't need to go into the joke any deeper than that, and they didn't, and people instantly caught on. Mm. So I don't even know if the boys are around, but let me say this. Golf City's too good to just mush through the YouTubes. They're doing a quality product, and my God, can you imagine what would happen if, in fact, Golf City had the money to actually do what they wanted to do? I mean, we're talking about what? Besides the voice actors, maybe 3 people who are involved with production, but it's mostly Justin. It's mostly Gasly doing all this shit. And can you imagine if he had a budget? But then again, it's one of those things about control too. You know, what would a place like Cartoon Network want? How much of Golf City's soul would have to be sold? See, now that's the one. That's the one that gets to me. Would they have to compromise? And if they would, how much? And that would be bullshit. I never want to see them compromise their product. If they have to stay on, you know, the necrotic, decaying system that is YouTube, then Jesus, you know, at least we get to see what the actual creator vision is instead of having to dick around. And odd one, what you were asking me if I was going to interview Donga? You know, honestly, I kind of have talked to Tonka about coming on the regular show, Doctor on Call. It's been brief. Nothing's ever been, you know, nothing's ever been formalized in any way. But if he did come on, we would probably talk a lot about wrestling. I'm a big wrestling fan, and not to spoil any big surprises, but we got some old school coming on. We got some new school coming on, and we're still in talks halfway through, so I can't really. But once again, my superstition, I can't really say, but we might be having on a WWE Hall of Famer. So that's all I'm going to say about that. I'm going to leave it there. I've actually even reached out to Jim Cornette, but Jesus, he does enough, doesn't he? I don't know what the hell I talked to him about that he's already talked about. You know, there are some people that I'd love to sit down and shoot the shit with and have an adult beverage of their choice, but I think there's been quite a bit of people who are just talked out. I mean, that you know every story. It's kind of like going to a live Kevin Smith show. I mean, he may tell you 1 or 2 new stories, but most everything is shit he's already said on every other special. And he's a blubbery bitch too, so that kind of drives me nuts. Now, I would interview Ralph Garman because, well, if you guys don't know, Kevin Smith and Ralph Garman do a podcast called Hollywood Babylon. And Ralph Garman is the heart of that show. He's awesome, incredibly entertaining. He does some impressions too, which is kind of nice. So, yeah, that's interesting people. Interesting people are the people that I want to talk to. Now, whether they're true e-celebs or they're real-world celebs, don't care. If it's somebody who's going to, you know, give me a 2-hour conversation that I'm going to enjoy, then by all means, they are coming on. Yeah, redacted. I'm completely with you on that. I used to love the Smodcast stuff. What do you mean? What odd one? What do you mean? What happened to the Mexican guy? He got family shit to do. Okay, that's all we need to hear. Brother got to clean off the airways for a little bit, take care of the homestead, and yeah, that's all. That's all I need to know. I know he'll be back eventually. You know, it's that lure of the brass ring. You know, to become a nominal celeb on YouTube. That's like, having a Twitch channel with 20 followers, or Plex Storm with 2. Well, then again, I I would love to go on. You know what? I'll say this: if I get really really bored, I will go on to Plex Storm. I will make my own account on Plex Storm. I will do it as somebody completely fucking different, and I will do as much raunchy shit as I feel like doing. Matter of fact, I might even do that for my sex stories, because I'm an old guy now, but I had a very interesting life through my teens, my 20s, and my 30s. That's why I never thought I would see my 40s, much less my 50s. But here the fuck I am. So I think sharing some of those stories would definitely be a good time. Can't share them here on YouTube, because apparently YouTube is trying to turn into SJW Church Chat. But I am really pissed off about that SCP thing, because I actually did have a couple stories to SCP, and they're not there anymore. Oh, Jack, I wish some of the stories. I wish some of my sex stories weren't actually real, but they are. And some of them get quite graphic, and they're a lot of fun. Oh yeah, hey, another clone. I laughed my ass off when I read about the slutty doorknob. Some of that stuff is just awesome. It's incredibly fun, but you get fucking Redditors and Tumblers, and apparently they think they have some God gift agenda to be able to tame the internet, to make it a safe space for them and only them. It just irritates the piss out of me. Okay, so here's what I was going to say about Gulf City. Gulf City I love. Gulf City I respect. If they really want to get eyes on them, one place they can go and people will look at their shit and love their shit and respect it: Dragon Con. Give me some ones in the chat if you guys know what I'm talking about. And yes, Karen, I can say that there's one or two stories where I think I can say there was some rapage going on, but in a good way. I got raped in a good way. There is good rape. There is. I'm witness of it. I was subject to it. Well, and here's the thing, Jack. Down at Dragon Con, there are creators all over the place. Not only with film, but with animation, with comics. Instead of being the fucking PR machine that places like the San Diego Comic-Con are, or the New York Comic-Con are, because they are literally PR machines now for movies and big corporations. There's still a lot of fun stuff going on down at Dragon Con. As a matter of fact, that's one of before they got really super duper famous, where Trey Parker, Matt Stone always used to show up. I mean, I think Troma still shows up down there with with shitty Toxic Avenger and Sergeant Kabuki Man masks. Venture Brothers showed up down there. Cartoon Network has a serious thing down there. I think it was Image and Dark Horse are down there, and a lot of actually, we already did the 10 bell odd one, and unfortunately Steve was never on any of mine to be in enforcer, but I did make up that Wrenchna State graphic and spread it around to all the people where he influenced. So it was nice to see that go up and them do moments of silence. I never actually got a chance to talk to Steve. Wish I would have. But so my thought is that if we can get them funded, and I'm a broke bitch, you know, I will put this out. I am a complete and total broke bitch. Yeah, I got 2 words for you that explains my financial situation: food pantry. That's all you need. But I think if we can get them bankrolled and get them to Dragon Con to where they can show their wares and what they've got, I think there's somebody down there who's going to be interested in what they're selling. I really do. Actually, I'm using GhettoNet odd one, and I don't want to go into too many details, but it doesn't involve above board memes. Can I just say that and we can go on with it? I'm not saying I'm a criminal. I'm not saying I do things with criminal intent. But I am saying that there are certain things that happen that, you know, I can't technically get arrested for. Well, there were a few things, but statute of limitations have run out. But there are a few things which are could be litigious in nature. That there could be a couple of lawsuits that happen. But yeah, I am a total fan. I think it's I think it's a good idea, and I know if Ghastly's listening, he's going, well then, motherfucker, pony up the money. And I was like, I already told you, man, I can't even get enough money from the blood bank to buy a Gulf City shirt. So, you know, that is true, Jack. It is technically, well, no, it technically is illegal, but, you know, it's not litigious unless I get caught. Hell, I remember back in the old days when they had just cable, and the lazy asses would climb up our telephone pole and just disconnect it from the box. So we'd watch them run up the pole, disconnect, go away, feeling all had been done. And we'd run back up the pole, reconnect it. It'd take them a couple months to figure it out. And they finally went ahead. And did the box on the side of the house. And I had a friend who actually did do cable installation, and he rewired it, so we never had to go into the box. And Jack, I appreciate you more than you know about you supporting Gulf City. You know, the only thing I can do is, you know, throw some memes at them and make them laugh. You know, maybe they add something to their B-roll. That's the best I can do. But yeah, I like seeing the people that I like getting funded and respected for what they're doing, because shit's tough. It's not the easiest thing to do. Wait a minute. Why is Donga a bitch? I've challenged him. Is it to a debate? And he just blocked me when I wasn't even being rude. Well, dude, I mean, if somebody doesn't want to talk to you, they just don't want to talk to you. I mean, we had Kevin Logan on, rolling with Sisyphus, and I was I was very much against it. I don't like what he stands for. I don't like his tactics, but you know, it was somebody that, once again, you know, Sisyphus thought, hey, I can have an interesting conversation with him. I'm like, all right, cool. Well, let's go ahead and roll it. Yeah. Hey, Jack, you were on the rolling with Sisyphus where we had Justin on, right? I mean, that was an awesome conversation. I mean, that's the first time that he wasn't kayfabing with the Ghastly persona. And I mean, he got down to talking about, you know, what he's doing, what motivates him, what's getting him through this, you know, what he's got planned. And you know, I thought some incredibly good advice to any other content creator that's out there. You know, I thought that whole show with him was gold. And I think maybe he was a little trepidatious about it to start off with, just because of the fact that, you know, he'd never been outside the Ghastly persona when on the YouTubes. And we're going to do the same thing with John, the first Tuesday of July. Thank you. Yeah, I think, it, uh, and I'll say this with without any false humility. It's our guests that make our shows. Um, Definitely with rolling with Sisyphus, and I feel the same with Doctor on Call. I think it's always the guests that make the show, and you have to be able to give the guests the availability to, you know, stretch out. You know, they're on the interview couch. Let them put their feet up onto the coffee table. Who cares? They want to roll one up, fine, go for it. I don't care. Anything that's going to make them comfortable, that's going to allow them to talk about what they want to talk about and make it interesting and exciting for their fans. Because, you know, okay, I do fanboy service because I get on people that I want to talk to. But it's not just me. I want to be able to share that experience with anybody who decides to tune in and listen to whatever drunken diatribe that I'm doing. I think that's really that's really what's owed to every fan that's on the YouTubes or gives you you know, a thumbs up or just even watches the show. I mean, you can like my show, you can sub to me. That's all good, but I want you to be able to walk away from the experience with something. You know, like, hey, that one thing he said that was really cool, or I can't believe he admitted to that on air, or he did what with whose cow for how much money. You know, that kind of shit. And I hate to sound all altruistic because I get bashed for it a lot. I don't give a fuck. I'm a practical guy. I want people to be able to take away some type of object lesson. You know, some type of learning. Am I still cutting out? Oh, shit. Let me take a look here. That's funny. I'm not even drinking. Okay, let me see here. Well, uh-oh, it might be GhettoNet messing with me. It's kind of running on like a low signal, but I guess I can only do what I can do. How am I sounding? I know there's a 10-second delay. By the way, if people don't know this, if you've not streamed yourself, there's a 10-second delay from when I talk as to when you hear it. So anything that you put up, I guess it's technically running maybe a 10 or 15-second delay because, you know, I'm slow when I read. I mean, I can't believe, for God's sake, isn't there anybody online right now who's more entertaining than me? I know Crowler just put up a change my mind for the wall. Couldn't give a shit. I don't care if there's a wall. I mean, you could put up beaded curtains. That way, you know, when they step through it, you can hear all that clinking and you know where they're at. Don't give a fuck. My shows are definitely not about politics, nor are they about religion. Fuck both of those subjects. There are far too many people on the internets right now. Hello, Alamo. No, because meat flaps. You know, you're talking about Texas weather. Ugh, those things would smell after a while. Although I did just watch Wang's video on vagina bacon, and I will never be the same. Never, ever be the same. But yeah, I mean, there's way too many people out there debating politics and religion. Sure, fine, let them go do that. I just want to entertain people. Well, if you're out in the Texas heat, those are going to be smoked by the end of the night. When the sun goes down, you know, I guess you got some good fixings. Karen, why what? That reminds me, there was a philosophy class. I think it was at Columbia, and the final exam. Everybody's all in their seats, ready to go. And the teacher walks in and he goes, "This will be, you'll have an hour and a half, and here's your exam." He walks up to the board, writes "why" with a question mark, and leaves. Now, can you guess the people who got the A's? Well, the people who got the A's were the people who responded with "why not" or "because." The people who got the low grades were the ones who all of a sudden spent an hour and a half on a dissertation of why. Just filling up sheets and reams of paper with theories about why, when simple philosophy dictates that you've got an answer. When somebody asks you why, you ask why not, or cuz. Actually, you can also take the child. You can also take the parent to child response, because I'm your parent and I don't need to explain myself to you. So get back into the basement, or there will be more severe beatings. Since I can't do alcohol right now, I am going to do a little candy. Oh, I got a nice gross story about Arby's. If and you want it, you know, if you lived on the planet for almost a little over half a century, then stories just seem to come to you. One of my siblings worked at an Arby's, and I don't know if you guys know this, but you know they have grease catchers because the meat that they use, the roast beef that they use, is pressed meat. No, I'm pretty sure I won't ever have the white YouTuber on my channel ever because I can't stand that dick gimmick of crunching a potato chip bag. Even though right now I'm trying to extricate this candy from the goddamn wrapper. Jesus. Okay. Anyway, so they have to keep it hot. They have to keep that big chunk of meat warm. So they do heat it, and the grease really does heat up. Also, you've got the grease from when they do fries. You got the grease from when they do their potato cakes, you know, their tater tot bites, all that shit. And so one of the girls that my sibling worked with was asked to take a 5-gallon bucket of grease back into the refrigeration unit so it could get cooled down, and then they could dump it because it was way too hot. Well, she takes the bucket, all crafty and shit, gets it stacked onto the shelf, and just as she sets it down on the shelf gives way. Now, I don't know if you know anything about hot grease, but it sucks when it pours on you. Now, it's even worse. Hey, Merc, how's it going? It's even worse when said hot grease hits a pair of fucking polyester pants. The polyester pants burned and fused into her skin. Oh, yes. She spent years. I mean, they spent the first couple surgeries trying to do skin grafts and take out the polyester that had infused into her flesh, and they couldn't do it. So, needless to say, man, this girl does not wear short shorts, and I'm pretty sure that they paid a hefty penny for it. But the only bad thing is that was back in the day when we didn't have cell phones. I mean, honest God, if there's anybody out there who's late 30s or older, there was no impact of a cell phone. People couldn't take pictures of you doing stupid shit. It just did not exist. That was the coolness of it, of everything, because you can get away with shit. There really weren't any security cameras. There weren't any cell phones. There weren't any handheld video units. Hey, Beardy, what's going on? So you could do incredibly stupid shit as a kid and get away with it. Can you imagine? World Star Hip Hop would never have existed. TMC, they'd have to wait until they got back from the Kodak photo mat to get their pictures. Wait a minute. How hot is it up there, Birdie? Or are you just locked in studio? Right now, this is as close as I can dox myself. It just rained, so we are currently looking at 89 degrees. Yeah, it kind of sucks. Yesterday, like a fucking idiot, I decided to get out of the house. I'm tired. I'm stir crazy. Um, so I'm trying to get out. Get out for any reason. I have to walk and pick up tubes and tobacco. So the bodega, that of course sells bongs, crack pipes, and cellular phones and knives, because why not? It's the same type of place that when you walk in the door, they're like, "Hey, buddy." So you know the place. It's about like 3 city blocks from where I live. So I'm like, yeah, okay, well, sun's bright and shiny. I got a ball cap. I got sunglasses. I'm going. Yeah, brilliant. I walk maybe about a half a block, and I'm like, God damn, how hot is it? I look at my phone. It's 98 degrees with the real feel. You know, what it really feels like is like 102 degrees. Just, duh. I was like, you know what? I've had several strokes. I really probably should not be doing this. And I'm just like, fuck it. If I die, I die. Honestly, there was a breeze out. It made it feel like, you ever, cook something in the oven and you want to check on it, you roll the oven door back and whoosh, you get hit with that heat. That's what the breeze felt like as I was walking from there to there. And you can bet your ass, I tried to find as many shade trees as possible because it's insane. Well, I figure if sex, drugs, and alcohol and a series of strokes over the past 4 years haven't fucking killed me, there ain't nothing cool that's going to actually kill me. See, I've always wanted, I don't know anybody, I mean, have you guys ever read the Weekly World? I mean, I'm sure if you're in the U.S., you see it in the, in the grocery lane, the checkout aisle, all the rag mags. But Weekly World has always fascinated me. That's the one with Bat Boy and you know the Titanic was actually on the moon for like 50 years. All the fun stuff. Well, they have I think it's page 5, and their page 5 usually has odd deaths. Like really stupid, coincidental shit that you know is so odd but true, and it gets printed. My favorite death. Bear with me for just a second. Okay, my favorite Weekly World death was, there was this guy in I don't know, it was either Madrid or Morocco, and they were taking this guy out to have his bachelor party, and they took him to a club where they had belly dancers slash strippers, or whatever it was. And when one of the strippers was on stage, she stripped down, and she had like the little jingly belly dancer belt on, and she had a matching set of brass pasties with the little twirlies on them, with the little tassels. Well, she starts twirling. One of them pops off, hits this guy, hits the bachelor, hits the groom to be right in the temple, hits him just at the right place, and it kills him. Gives him like a brain hemorrhage or something, a brain embolism, kills him right there on the spot. Drops him like a bag of dirty laundry. That is the kind of death I want. I mean, you know, how many people get taken out by like cancer? Like, I mean, most of the people I know and that I've loved and that have died have either been mostly, well, okay, 50% is either natural causes / cancer, which I guess nowadays cancer is kind of a natural cause. Um, there are a few people I know who've done some stupid things that have died in weird ways. Um, a buddy of mine tried to have sex on a train trestle, and then the train was coming. His girlfriend jumped off, and there was like a creek down below. Well, he jumped off, and instead of landing in the water, he landed on uh, what the hell you call them? A railroad tie, not the wood ones, but one of the metal ones, and he impaled himself, and he died. So there's a sad sex story. It's not mine, but be aware out there, the 7 people or the 6 people that are actually watching, sex can kill. But all depends. Maybe the sex might be good enough to where it's worth dying. I don't know. I can only say that once or twice. Where I've been like, well, shit, if this would have given me a heart attack, hell yeah, put that on my tombstone. Hey, man. Very, very good evening to you. Worst Deadamite, nice to see you. You know, I could probably turn out the link if you guys were that bored, because I'm just on because nobody else was on. And what is it? Broski's not doing anything until uh what, 10? I think Broski's on at 10. Wait a minute. Let me harass him on online. Let's see here. You can be the Canadian patriot all you want, motherfucker. You're still not at all going to be able to join the Space Patrol. Okay, tweet 2. Hey, you goddamn leaf. Are you doing a show this evening? If not, why the fuck not? If yes, then you have my blessing, as I am running some boring shit right now. And here's the link for proof. All right. Okay. Now that that's done, now that we've made connections, that we're sharing good vibes with our internet friends, well, didn't you just fuck up? Hey man, nice shot. Because I am the kind of bitch who would send a link. Oh, let's see here. Sir, if you would, check your DMs. You know what? If I'm not getting my hopes up for Space Force just because of the fact that they took away my truck driving license because I had the diabetes. I can't even drive a goddamn truck, so I'm sure as shit certain that they're not going to let me into Space Force. Although I will make up T-shirts for it. I swear to God, I will. I've already got a design that I want to do, but I have to figure out how to actually do it. No, that'd be cool, being a door gunner. As a matter of fact, I'm sure you guys have seen the ones I've been putting up for Space Force. I've actually been stealing images from the show that you may or may not have seen because it only went like 2 seasons on Fox, called Space Above and Beyond. I think that's what our Space Force is going to look like. They're not going to be slick and shiny like the one you saw in Aliens. Then they're sure as shit not going to be like the ones in Starship Troopers. Wait a minute, a 50K car. I have to ask, what was it? Oh, look at that. Optic had to go on somebody else's stream. You are such a dick. You know what? I'm putting you in the same category with that goddamn leaf. I am taking away your December seasonal semi-religious or non-religious holiday greeting card. That's right. You're off that fucking list now.
That's an awfully specific list.
You know, it's funny. I used to do the what was it? Happy Chris Mahana Quantus.
Bless you.
Yeah, I used to send that out. I used to make my own. I used to make my own holiday cards, and I don't know if people enjoyed them or not. I think my favorite one, the one I got the most feedback from, is I drew 3 hookers.
Off to a fast start.
On the front of the card, then I just flipped it open. Then when you flip it open, it just says ho ho ho.
That's pretty good. Not gonna lie.
Well, yeah, I did them back in the '80s, so they actually didn't seem as dusty and as dad jokey. Hey man, nice shot. Welcome to the show. Apparently, anybody who has any talent doesn't want to do a show tonight, or is bored, or already have done a show. So I apologized at the beginning of the show. You know, you're kind of stuck with me until I run out of steam, because damn was I bored. I did mention though the fact that I would be coming back to Tuesdays.
As opposed to Thursdays?
Yeah, I'm gonna switch. Because Thursdays there's just too much shit going on. I will say I always make sure that I try to plan to not be in the way of shows that I like to watch. And I certainly like to watch Louder with Crowder. And it depends on if they've got a movie running or not. The Gulf City Theater usually runs Thursdays. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Tuesday just feels more comfortable.
Yeah,
Or
I don't really have a plan. I just do it whenever I feel like it. But Tuesdays sound fine. I don't know of anything else that goes on Tuesday.
well, yeah, that was one of the selling points I had for AP. I'm like, hey, AP, it's Tuesday. I know you're not doing shit. You know, you might as well show up. So he's going to be kicking off the new Tuesday line on in July. I've also got Cog coming on. We're trying to figure out too how we can get bearing because it's like a 13 or 14 hour time difference.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough.
I mean, well, technically it would be what like noon his time or something. I think 8 o'clock.
Oh, if you're doing 8 p.m., yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know if he's actually doing anything. And hell, I'd talk to Sugar Tits.
Well, everyone would. I mean, they're sugar tits.
Hey, Jack, thanks for stopping out. If we're still here, just show up and tell us to stop it. You know, because we should not stream for a whole shitload of time longer. But yeah, thanks for stopping out. I appreciate it, and all hell blue whale.
What, you mean this isn't a 24-hour stream?
Shit, you know, I thought about doing one because uh, remember when they did the Beard Variant stream?
Yeah, I watched about an hour of that, and then I couldn't take it anymore. I had to go to bed.
Well, you know, I'm housebound, so it's not like I have a job to go to. So I watched all 24 hours. I'm a total insomniac, so you know the deck was stacked in my favor. Although the thing that really pissed me off was I wanted to do one meme an hour for however long that they ran, and I only ended up doing 12. I did, you know, one like every other hour.
That's still pretty good.
Yeah, I know, but you know, you set goals. You try not to be a failure. Well, not, you know, failure, but a failure.
You just got to set realistic ones, I guess. And your realistic one was 12. Or if you want, I can do my Clint Eastwood imitation and say, man's got to know his limitations.
Well, I try to limit myself as much as possible, except when it comes to sex, drugs, and alcohol. But yeah, I'm sure everybody else is pretty much the same. Because you know, I'm almost too old for sex. I don't have enough money to get the appropriate drugs, and alcohol. It's available, but you know, not my first choice. Although I did have a buddy today. He needed some help doing something. And I'm like, I'm a cripple. What can I do? He's like, can you push him up? And I'm like, I can push him up. So I helped him out for a couple hours. And he was kind enough to buy me a bottle of a fifth of raspberry vodka.
Uh-oh. Flavored
So,
vodka. That's a recipe for disaster.
oh, well, you know, vodka's the only thing that I drink when I do the show. I mean, because if I drank bourbon, I'd be just a giggly fuck. And if I drank tequila, I'd just be a mean ass. And I'm not. I don't like being mean.
You don't like being mean. Come on, it's fun every now and again.
It's not easy being mean.
Why wonder?
No, I was a rowdy fuck when I was young. If I wasn't fighting, then I was fornicating or ingesting some type of substance. I've accidentally taken more acid than probably any 5 people that you know. Unless one of the guys that you know is Timothy Leary, then I'd be kind of fucked at that point, or Ken Kesey.
I'm reading these tweets you sent out. Yeah, goddamn Leaf. Are you doing a show this evening? Not. Why the fuck not? Jesus.
Well, yeah.
Are you sure you aren't already intoxicated?
No, no. I just like being, you know, I'm breaking kayfabe, but we always bust each other's balls. It's almost like we're actual friends.
Oh boy.
Because there are people that can take liberties with me. You know, over the internet, that is. And I'd say Broski and Optic and SMG, all those guys definitely can. They're bounds that cannot be stepped over. Because there's only 2 things in life that really piss me off, and I'm not telling you what those 2 things are, but it's just the same as people, you know, spurging out, being doxxed and shit. I could not give a shit. But if you find one of those 2 things, that's my magic button, and I will put you against or through a wall.
Or
but
both.
You know, that's I'm sure everybody has that. You know, there's one thing that will automatically set you off.
Just trying to think of mine. They'd probably be sibling related. If you fuck with my siblings, it'd probably be an issue. Automatically.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely a noble cause. My 2 are just there's one I will warn people about, and the second one, no, it just doesn't happen. But yeah, well, I've gotten my ass kicked more than once for stepping up and defending others. But it's all righteous. I mean, if you take a beating for something that you believe in, you know, you stood up for what you believed in, and you know, maybe next time you'll be a better fighter. Worst Edomite, that's not one of the things. That's just to me, pedos are just a general blanket statement that it should be for anybody. I'm talking about something that's, you know, purposely targeted towards me. No, yeah, there was an incident at a pool where I had taken my nieces and nephews, and there was a creeper. And let's just say that when the creeper went to the bathroom, he came back out limping. So yeah, I do not truck to pedos. I do not tolerate them in any way, Sam. I am.
Wait, really? There was a guy at a public pool creeping on kids, and yep. You gave him the what for, let's say, in the bathroom.
We had a discussion. Yeah.
Okay.
He was talking more to, you know, they have those like long urinals.
Oh, where it's just one long stretch as opposed to individuals. It's like
a trough. It's like a trough. He was talking more to the trough than he was to me.
Oh, sounds like he had a good time.
Yeah, I mean, he slipped. I tried to help him up a couple of times, but he seemed to just keep banging into that thing and falling down.
Oh, well, Worst Edomite apparently did one better. A pedo moved down the street from my sister's. His house burned down, though.
Yeah. Oh. Darn. Gotta hate that.
Yeah. That's right up there with, who was it? Was it my cousin or my uncle who was like, yeah, the neighbor's dog just wouldn't shut up. And then one day I lost a little bit of antifreeze. Don't know what happened. If it's just, I don't know, the dog just all of a sudden wasn't feeling so good, and I lost some antifreeze. Huh? Go figure.
Well, we got I live in a duplex, but it's a front back duplex. Um, they haven't paid their rent for like 3 months, so they've been served. So
Oh,
they're waiting for the sheriffs to come out. They pulled this brilliant idea, and this is one that pisses me off too. They brought a pit bull and planted it outside.
what do you think that's going to
So
scare? That's going to scare the cops off. Yeah. Okay.
well, it's going to get a pit bull shot is what it's going to do. But
Yeah.
but the pit bull got loose and started running around the neighborhood so much so scared the shit out of our female man, and she jumped up into the bed of a truck. So they called the cops. Now this pit, beautiful fucking pit. It's a gray marble pit, so those things are expensive. I mean, this just wasn't hey, we here's a ghetto bred dog. This one was pretty, and she was smart too. But she's defending the homestead, running after people and shit. Um, the cops literally pull up into the yard, and we have city yards, right? You've got like a fucking strip of grass, a sidewalk, and then another strip of grass, and then there's your steps. So they pull up into the yard, and they're trying to get the people to come out to get the dog. And he gets on the PA and says, "Hey, you got to get your dog, or we're gonna take it away." Somebody peeks out of their door, sees it's the cops, and goes right back in and shuts the door.
You can have them.
Yeah, and so the dog was getting kind of antsy, and I had been to the food pantry like a couple days ago, and picked up a bag of bagels that I can never eat all of them, so they were kind of stale. So I was sitting there feeding the dog bagels. First I
Like
started.
going to the pond with the ducks.
Well, yeah. I mean, I was standing up on my porch, and there's a brick railing to it, so the dog couldn't jump and get at me. But I was first off just tossing down pieces to her, and then I started hand feeding her. And I'm like, oh man, this is a good dog. There's some shitty fucking owners, but this is a good dog. And this dog's going to suffer because of their assholishness. And there was even like a big pretzel in the bag. So I gave it to her like a chew toy. She just sat down on the grass and just ate it as it went, which was another sign that they hadn't fed the fucking dog. Because she was eating everything that I was throwing down there. I mean, nonstop. She was nom, 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 nom the whole goddamn time. And finally, animal control comes out, and they rope her. They collar her with the stick and everything. The rope with the stick.
Mm-hmm.
And the last act that dog did was she jumped up on the front part of my porch, because I was kind of standing there at the time. That's where I was feeding her. She jumped up on the porch and she rubbed her head against my leg. And I'm like, I can't do anything to stop this. I can't. Technically we weren't even allowed to own dogs, but just broke my fucking heart, because that dog was a good boy, didn't do nothing. And animal control is going to take it. And I was like, man, it's so sad that you guys are going to put this dog down. And the guy walked over to me. He was like, just between you and me, this dog ain't coming back here. But there are pit bull agencies that adopt out. And he's like, this pit bull. And I was like, yeah, it's a gray marble. He's like, yeah. So somebody out there is going to want this dog. So the people in the back decided they would go and get the dog like a week later, and the dog wasn't there anymore. And they said right off the bat, yeah, they killed my fucking dog. It's like, no, that dog's a little too valuable, and it was actually a sweetie. So somebody adopted it. Somebody took it in. But that just pissed me off. That literally what they were using it for was like a bear trap.
That's bad. That's that irritates me.
Yeah, and I mean, dogs literally are only as bad as you make them. I mean, they're dumb animals. They have no real reason or logic skills. They just do what they do through training and well, symbiotic compassion to their masters. And if their masters beat them, then then they deserve to get bit. Although German Shepherds are still, to me, the most fucking psychotic dogs ever. That's why police use them.
See, I have under the impression, at least recently, again, maybe it's a little bit over. What do I want to say? Sensationalization, if that's even a word. Overhyped pit bulls. There's the whole meme going around of let's just gas all the pit bulls. They're an abomination. They're killing machines, and in a sense they are, but I don't know how bad they are. I don't know enough about dogs.
Well, pits and you'll find that. Oh, um, hello, Zach Lonby, and not much. I think I took a wrong turn in Albuquerque. Um, but pit bulls usually fall into two categories as far as when they talk about pit bull attacks. Usually, it's somebody who trained them to be an attack dog. So that throws all logic and reasoning out the window because you can train pretty much any dog to be an attack dog, even a fucking poodle. And the other one is a pit bull attacks through protection. Like I know a friend who got bit by a pit bull because he was playing tag with a neighborhood friend, and the neighborhood friend had a pit bull as a pet. Well, the pit bull thought that since they were playing tag, that the little girl was being threatened, so the pit bull attacked. Have a good night, Zach. But yeah, normally it's either you're training them to be vicious, horrible creatures, or they're in defense mode, protecting their family.
Yeah, because then I saw an article, God, maybe a month ago, where this poor woman, I think it was in Oklahoma. You could probably look it up real quick, but the headlines all read, "A woman killed by 9 wiener dogs." And I'm like, you got to be effing kidding me. There's no way. And what they failed to mention, because they like to hype it up with, you read that headline, you're like, is this an Onion article? What the hell does this mean? But then you read into it, and it's, quote unquote small breed dogs and 1 medium-sized dog. So it wasn't 9 wiener dogs. It was, maybe a terrier or 2 or a couple wiener dogs. The point is it wasn't like something out of a comedy movie where some poor woman gets mauled to death by dogs that are smaller than her foot.
Yeah. And it's just like Chihuahuas hate the fuck out of them because they're bitey little dogs. They just have a bad disposition all the way around. And German Shepherds will fuck you up too. Now I still think they are the most psychotic dogs ever. It was funny. I was part of Citizens Police Academy. It's where they bring you in and they show you what the police do, and you get to fire a weapon, you get to go on foot patrol with them and shit like that. And I got talked into it by my mom. And my mom, I guess she was probably about 50 then, and she has had I don't know, I wouldn't call her a dog whisperer because she really doesn't even have to talk to any animals. I mean, she is really Dr. Doolittle. I've never seen an animal. There's only been one story of her ever getting bitten, and that was when she was a kid. but I've never seen an animal not automatically come up to her. The cats, dogs, even a buddy of mine. She went over to the house and he had ferrets, and they were all over her, just wanting to get loved. Even like rabbits. So anyway, not to drag this out. Hey, Wild Fox, how's it going? Not to drag it out any, but we were this day in particular was, hey, we're going to show you how our drug sniffing dogs work. And they went through this spiel of it costs thousands of dollars to train these dogs, and they only bond with the officer that leads the canine unit, and they will do whatever they say on command, and they don't truck to anybody else. You approach him, you're looking for bad news. Now, as he's doing this speech, he's like, now it's really important, and he stops dead. And he just stares, and he's staring off to where my mom is standing. And I look over, and my mom is crouched down, petting the drug dog, going, aren't you so cute? Aren't you the cutest little thing? And she's petting, and the dog's like, and wagging its tail and shit. Man, that cop just, he literally turned beet red. He was fucking pissed. Because we found out later that that dog was no longer good for police work. So they had to send the dog back to get retrained.
Oh, the dog broke the conditioning.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Or my mom broke it, but she was like, he's so cute. And I'm like, Mom.
For God's sakes.
They just told us it costs thousands of dollars to train this fucking thing.
And you ruin it with one pet.
Yeah. And she's like, well, he just came up to me.
I didn't do nothing.
Oh, yeah. She's truly a Dr. Doolittle. Just amazing. But yeah, when we were kids, oh my God, she went nuts with animals. We had 3 dogs, 5 cats, like 104 fish, 68 mice, about 24 teddy bear hamsters, a chameleon, a turtle, and a rabbit. And it was literally a zoo. But then we figured out that some animals don't interact very well with other species. And yeah, the rabbit got torn up by the cats. The cats fished out as many mice and teddy bear hamsters and fish as they could get a hold of. The dog bit the head off the turtle because it thought it was playing a game with it. And one of the dogs ate one of the cats. Oh. And the chameleon, well, that fucker just disappeared. And then like a year later, my mom opens up the cupboard and there's this foot-long chameleon hissing at her.
Okay.
You know, raccoons are pretty cool. My dad used to live in a country setting, and when we'd go visit him for visitations on the weekend, he had raccoons trained to come up and eat Oreos. And they would literally break the Oreo apart, lick all the cream out of it first, and then eat the cookie.
Sounds good.
I used to live on the back half of a property where nobody could actually see what the house was. Actually, it was a turn of the century chicken coop that they modified into, just like a little bungalow. And we would get raccoons coming up all the time, and they would literally knock on the door and be like, oh, well, okay, shit. So I had dog food left over because um, at that point, my the two dogs that I was taking care of got old and just passed. Um, so I would put out dog food for them. Now the worst part was putting out food where I lived. We not only had a big squirrel and raccoon population, but we also have a huge possum problem. I don't know if you've ever dealt with possums,
Mm.
but oh my God, they are foul. They are foul, dirty little creatures. Um, they're just like overgrown rats with tails. And usually, and they don't have a bark. They hiss. Night, worst dynamite. Thanks for stopping by. Um, they hiss at you. So one night, I'm hearing on the porch hissing. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I look out, and my screen door. Um, I used to have this big tomcat, and it jumped through the screen, knocking the screen out and tearing it up. So I didn't have anything there. I look out where the screen was supposed to be in the door, and sure enough, it was a possum. Well, actually, it was two possums, and they were fucking on my porch.
How did you know they were fucking?
Because one was squat right on top of it, boning it.
Okay, I was just wondering how two possums fucking looks like, because I'm not privy to that, and I don't want to Google it.
Yeah, it's. I mean, and it's funny too because the one getting fucked tries to wrap it because they have a prehensile tail, and they're sitting there trying to wrap it around the possum that's fucking them. So
Ugh.
anyway, I'm like, I mean, I'm literally like 3 feet away from him, and I'm like, hey, fuck off, possums, get off my porch, and they just keep going at it, just keep boning, and I'm like, God damn it! So I grab a broom and I lean out the hole where the screen was, and I start beating them with the fucking broom, and they're still going at it. They're not giving up until somebody gets a nut.
Circle of life.
And I'm like, all right, fuck this. So I went
So you
and
get the flamethrower.
no, I got an axe. And
Close.
and I did one chop on the ground in front of them, and they stopped for just a second, then started to hiss again. So I turned the axe handle around because it's the one with a blade and a hammer, and I fucking beat those son of bitches till they went away. And I'm hoping that neither one of them got a nut. Water is good.
So you kicked them off your property, you kept them from nutting, and then you wonder why they hiss at you.
Sometimes you just have to beat the fuck out of wildlife.
Yeah, I mean they deserve it. They do the same to you if the roles were reversed.
Hey, I've always said when somebody brings up the argument about how can you shoot a cute little deer? They're so pretty. It's like, well, apparently you've never had one of them run into your fucking car late at night. And in Ohio, they have the third largest deer population. So there are more. They're number 2 as far as driving accidents. Drunk driving being number 1. Number 2 accident is deer. And I always say that, you know what? It doesn't make a difference how cute they are. If deers had opposable thumbs, then there would definitely be a war on.
I actually, in that vein, I was on a road trip last year, and I was in, I don't know, Buckfuck, Utah, 3 a.m. local time. And I swear to God, I'm on a highway, and I'll never forget this as long as I live. There was a sign that said, aggressive deer, 10 miles.
Oh.
I've never seen that before in my life, and I never have since. The sign said, aggressive deer, 10 miles. Now, what the difference between an aggressive deer and just a deer is, I'll never know, but I didn't want to find out. So I was going 40 on a 70-mile-an-hour highway for the 10 miles.
Was it like a temporary sign or?
No, it looked like a legitimate standard road sign. It looked like the standard, picture of a deer and then the mileage, but above it said aggressive.
Wrong, because I've seen one that was a temporary, like a billfold type sign that road workers use, that said caution rutting season.
Mm-hmm.
So, but now I have seen a bull elk. We were coming back from Colorado, and bull elk are moose, right?
Yep.
We were on an 8-lane highway. This moose jumps out in front of an 18-wheeler. I have never seen an animal explode before.
The mental image is funny.
It got hit so hard, it blew pieces across all 8 lanes.
Jesus. Because that reminds me of my story in Utah, too, is the other thing that freaked me out is I got about 3 miles in and I saw corpses, and I'm like, oh, fuck off. You got to be kidding me.
Corpses of what?
Deer in the road.
Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be one of those Ring 2 where there's dead people laying all over the place.
Yeah, the aggressive deer murdered the motorists. Yep. That's why the sign. Yep. They just killed random drifters on the highway in the middle of Utah. Makes sense.
Well, I would say that if there's a deer with like a couple of points on their rack, I'm not going to try to break up their nutting. I'm going to let them do what they want to do and go the opposite way.
Yeah, I don't think an axe is going to be enough, even if it has a hammer. That's when you need the flamethrower.
By the way, have you ever seen a foobar?
Seen a foobar? I've heard the term, but
well, there's 2 different things. There's foobar is military for fucked up beyond all recognition.
Mm-hmm.
But there is an item called a foobar. Here, wait. Let me pull it up. Foobar tool.
Oh, there
okay. I will put it in the chat as well.
I didn't know that's what it was called, but yeah, I think I've seen that.
Yeah. I think I want one of those. And there you go, chat. If you want to see the Google lookup on it, there it is.
Oh, and apparently there's a foobar in St. Louis, Missouri. It's an actual bar. That's pretty good.
Well, I know when we were down in North Carolina, there was one called the Crowbar.
Crowbar. That's an odd name for a bar, I guess.
Yeah, and the irony is, like, what was it? 2 years later, they were filming the movie The Crow down around that area. I don't know if the cast of The Crow ever went to the Crowbar.
God, The Crow. Is that mid-90s movie with what's his... Oh, God. All right, let me look it up. 94. Brandon Lee. That's right.
Now, I actually kind of liked the movie. I met the guy who wrote the book, or who did the comic book, J.O. Barr. And my God, man, you want to talk about a more depressing fuck to be around. That guy was just, it's like,
Well, that would explain why he wrote The Crow.
Yeah, and it's like, It's like, dude, well, this was before anybody approached him to actually do the movie. Um, but uh, he was one of the most miserable fucks to be around. We used to go to a comic book convention. It was like the third biggest. But then again, this was back in the day when they called the San Diego Comic Con the Pelican, because it was actually like for comic books and not for, major corporations to pimp out their fucking movies.
The Pelican.
Yep,
Jesus
it
Christ.
was. Yep, the San Diego Pelican. By the way, speaking of which, um, one of the people that I've been trying to get into contact to see if they'd come on the show is Mark Hamill.
Oh, yeah. That'd be an interesting one.
Yeah, I'm not getting them. I'm not going to get him, but you know what? I'm going to fucking try.
Why not?
And then the last one I had, they wanted me to get Varg Vikernes.
Oh, yeah. Now I know what you're talking about.
So I didn't know who he was. I listened to a little bit of the music, and I also went ahead and I sent him an interview request, but apparently he's very much a hermit.
A recluse.
Yes, and so I put it out there. I don't know. I think we have a pretty interesting conversation since I don't know who the fuck he is, but I do my research and I'll figure that out. One of the guys that I'd like to get on, and I'd bring the whole crew on if I could, is Red Letter Media.
I've heard the name before, but I've never watched any of the content or anything like that.
Their best shit is they do a show called Best of the Worst, where they take VHS movies that people from around actually around the world now, that people from around the world send them, and they watch 3 of the movies, and they determine which movie is the best of the worst.
Oh God! So it's like Roadhouse is the greatest B movie of all time, kind of thing.
Oh no, these are D movies.
Oh, this is like bottom of the barrel, low budget. Why was this made? Kind of shit.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, stuff you have never, ever, ever, ever heard of unless you couldn't fall asleep and you were watching filler for Cinemax. I mean, these movies are horrible. I mean, they even had on Jesse Ventura's Abraxas. I mean, they pull from the bottom of the damn barrel, and I mean, it is hilarious because they just pretty much get drunk and go on about their business. Wait a minute, Wild Fox, what are you? I still don't know how to do all this shit. What are you doing? Okay.
What's happening?
Okay. He sent me a cartoon that says, "Why are you shit posting?" The person says, "I shit post when I'm depressed." The other person says, "But you're always shit posting." And that person smiles.
I get it. Clever stuff.
Wild Fox, did you want to come on? Instead of shit posting to me? I hate pulling up Discord. Discord is the Antichrist unless there's somebody helping me out doing some shit that this old boomer can't figure out.
Yeah, that you still aren't using.
Yeah, I know. Honestly, I could not figure out because you know how it goes into infinite screen mode?
If you capture your desktop or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, and since my camera is basically a virtual camera to Discord, or not to Discord, but to OBS, the moment that it pulls it, it goes to infinity and beyond.
Hmm. Oh, I've never had to capture anybody's camera, so I don't know anything about it, but I can't imagine it's all that complicated.
Yeah, I mean, when I did that before, I was able to capture, but I think it's I honestly think it's the virtual camera setting that's screwing everything. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. But it was a quick patch, and I thought, oh, this is going to be great because I can have this up. I can feature this, you know, because it's going to be my camera. I can feature it. It'll be solid. And then, you know, I can run the screen scroll. And then I can also have that open window to the Hangout to show our heads. Well, no, because it's not seeing that anymore. It's just seeing the virtual camera. So it leaps into infinity.
Hmm.
How's that for suck? And
Embrace the suck.
and it's funny because every so often Harry's like, "Oh, I'm not on screen, but oh, hey, that's cool. You got all my you got my soundtracks up." So at least it pleased Harry. So that's kind of cool.
It's something.
Yeah, I'm thinking that if I do get people on that don't have a camera, that I can't, you know, feature them, that I can just pull up my virtual camera and let a scroll go of their stuff. Like I've got a big scroll coming up for Rex Effects Studios. All the fun shit that they make from like their little action figures. They just did a whole series of the Alien Predator hybrids in sculptures and busts. And some of their stuff is really high ticket, but damn, it's beautiful. Collectors buy the shit out of it. And I don't think I should be mentioning it, but they've got two action figures that just got done from the manufacturing plant that they're getting ready to release under Beast Toys. One of them is the Troll from Troll 2. And because they do obscure figures. They get
No kidding.
They get the rights to cult ones. Now the next one is going to be cool. I might buy this one. Well, I don't have any money, so I might prostitute myself to get enough money to buy it. Have you ever seen Dead Alive?
Dead Alive? No.
Yeah, it's a Peter Jackson film that he did before he became well known.
God, it was made the year I was born. Christ.
Well.
Oh, I've seen that cover before, but no, I have not seen this movie. It looks iffy at best.
Oh well, I don't know. Do you like horror movies?
It depends. Like I enjoy some of the classic ones, like The Thing. I assume you count that, and then I like oh crap. Of course, on the spot, I can't remember any of them. I think I saw the Amityville Horror. I think I saw Friday the 13th. Kind of those, but in general, no. I can't suspend disbelief enough.
Well, Dead Alive, it was actually originally titled Brain Damaged. It's a comedy horror. It's one of the first comedy horrors that I've ever seen that has a shit ton of gore in it, but it has comedy. The whole premise is this woman gets bitten by a monkey from this weird island, and the bite turns her rabid and turns her into basically a zombie. And she's under the care of her nephew, and she's a total bitch, but she starts dying, you know, piece by piece, like starts falling off of her and shit. But she's still lucid enough to be alive. But she ends up biting other people, and more people get infected. And one of my favorite lines in it is the nephew aligns himself with a preacher, and he's like, "Don't worry, we'll get this taken care of because I kick ass for the Lord." And then he goes into a big fucking kung fu sequence and starts chop socking zombies. So that's pretty much the tenor of that movie. It was made to be funny, but there's a shit ton of gore. There is one scene where he actually there's a whole house full of zombies, and he figures that the only way he can get through it to get to the girl that he loves, he finds a lawnmower and straps it to his chest, turns it on, and then runs into the crowd.
See, I'd watch that and be like, that's impractical.
Well,
I'm too literal.
Well, no, here's the funny part. As he's running through, he's slipping and sliding and falling all on his almost falling on his ass. He gets all the way through the crowd, and he turns around and takes a look, and he's just literally cut a path through them and just cut off all the arms that were trying to reach for him. And then the zombies just kind of look at him and then spin around to the arms that they still have attached and then go after him.
Sight gag.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's all it is. It's literally Australian, well, New Zealand slapstick.
Yeah, no, I just can't really do horror movies in that, I can appreciate a jump scare, and I can appreciate somebody, you build the momentum, and then it all comes crashing down in some sort of, big scary event. But it's just too many times where I watch those damn movies and it's like, wait, why is the group splitting up? Wait, why are you going in the basement with no light source? Wait, you're going to fight the thing with a stick. What are we doing here?
There's one movie called The Final Girls, and it's a movie about a group of teenage kids that are going to see a film from the 80s that's a la Friday the 13th. The big reason why they're going is because one of the girls in the group, her mom was one of the scream queens that was in the movie. They end up, through a weird sequence of events, actually going into the movie itself. And they keep calling out every trope and every stereotype and just mocking the slasher film all the way through it. Now, that one has quite a bit of gore, too. But once again, it is a comedy before it's gore.
Yeah, but everyone knows you don't split the group up. You never split the group up in a horror movie.
It's so dumb. It pisses me off every time.
Or at least you stay with the black guy, because he's usually like second to last to die, so nobody thinks that there's any racial derision going on.
Oh, it always used to be the black guy died first.
Yeah,
what happened to that?
I thought he was the bait.
No. Once it jumped over to the 90s, now in the 80s, yeah. And once again, one of my favorite things in the world is the cripple kill in Friday the 13th part 2. Because just like, they're not gonna kill him. They're just not gonna. They put they put a machete in his head.
Mm-hmm. See, that's my problem. My favorite movies, my favorite horror movies were the ones from the 80s. I didn't really watch all that many from the 90s, but I got back into it in the 2000s-ish. Did you watch The Cabin in the Woods?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, fantastic kind of revamp on the whole horror movie genre period.
Well, you can suck Chris Hemsworth's dick for that one, because had he not been popular in Thor, that movie would have never come out. Ooh. It's the same case for Red Dawn. Red Dawn and Cabin in the Woods were both sitting on the shelf. The movie studios shelved it, said, "Fuck it, we don't want to deal with it," and they basically just put it in the vault and forgot about it. And then Hemsworth got popular, and they were like, "Well, shit, we have 2 movies that have Chris Hemsworth in it.
We can cash in on this."
Yep, and that's the only reason why. And I think it would have been a shame had they now Red Dawn can go screw off.
Yeah.
Because Red Dawn, the original, you can't beat it. It was Cold War hype. It was awesome. But Cabin in the Woods was just fantastic because of the fact that
it took all the old tropes and just spun them on its head.
Yeah, but I had zombie. No, this was redneck zombie family. There's a difference.
Man, we're never gonna get unicorns.
Or what is it? The guy who wanted the merman.
Oh.
I'll never see that in action. Well, be careful of what you wish for in a horror movie, dude. But yeah, I would say, yeah, if we're going with some of the best horror movies ever made, hey man, I would put The Thing in my top 5 definitively.
Yeah, no, the thing's top notch. The only issue is that obviously the special effects and whatnot kind of date themselves, but if you look at it as an objective movie, it's fantastic.
Dude, I completely disagree.
Really?
Those special effects hold up. They didn't do anything digital. They didn't green screen it. Everything was practical right there.
Really?
Yep, every one of them. And one of the coolest ones, you remember when they go to hit the guy with the defibrillators and his chest opens up?
Similar to Aliens?
No, it opens up into a row of teeth and bites down on the guy's hands.
Oh, yeah, and he pulls up and his arms are gone. That's right.
Now, that was all practical. They literally put a double arm amputee into the mask for that character, just for that 4-second shot.
Wow.
To have him
says nobody can contribute in Hollywood.
Oh man, that just go back and check them, all of them. The only thing that's bad, and even John Carpenter calls out for it because they ran out of money, was the stop motion of the tentacles grabbing the dynamite and the plunger at the very end of it.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, that was the only bad one, but everything they did, Rob Bottin worked so hard on that show that he actually collapsed, and they had to take him away forcibly because he was like, this is my masterpiece.
Oh, that's dedication.
And they got as a fill-in Stan Winston, because Stan Winston saw what Rob Bottin was doing, and he's like, this is fucking amazing. I wish I could have been a part of this. And Carpenter calls and says, Rob Bottin went down. He's going to be out for a week. He's like, oh, okay, I'm there. And so the effects that Bottin created, some of the effects, Stan Winston, of course, I don't know. Am I talking out my ass because you might not know who Stan Winston is?
I don't know, but I'm still interested.
Yeah, I mean, if we really want excruciating detail, we can Google it. But no, go ahead, keep talking.
Well, Stan Winston is the guy who created the Predator costume, the Alien costume pieces. Oh, geez, he even made Harry from Harry and the Hendersons. He's
costume design, nice.
Yeah, he is very well renowned for creating suits. For creating critters and creatures, and he was just so fascinated with it that he was like, yeah, if you guys will let me in to do this, he even worked it from all the rumors, he worked it for scale.
Wow, I'm looking at a bunch of Academy Awards here. Jesus.
Yep.
What was that name again? I'm gonna have to write this down.
Stan Winston.
He died, I think, about five years ago.
Ah, damn. Well, never
There,
mind.
Fox.
I'm still gonna look him up though.
In the Hangout, I put the link to his Wikipedia article.
All right.
He's amazing, dude.
Yeah, no, I mean, it looked like, well, yeah, for being technical. But yeah, it looks like he won for best visual effects in Aliens, best visual effects in Terminator 2, and best visual effects in Jurassic Park. Wow, that's a career right there.
Yeah.
Aliens, Terminator 2, and Jurassic Park. Yeah, those made some money if I understand things correctly.
Yeah, and he was still at that point #1. I mean, he even did the first Terminator. But Rob Bottin is pretty fucking killer himself. And I know. Let me grab his wiki real quick.
I think I got it. Special makeups, blah blah blah. Early life, filmography. I got King Kong, Piranha, The Fog, Twilight Zone, the movie, The Thing. Yeah, there you go.
Also, he did 7.
I see RoboCop, Total Recall, Basic Instinct. There's 7. The first Mission Impossible, Fight Club.
Jeez,
That's funny.
Now here's the big rumor that when Rob initially went down, they were looking for people. They thought about just shutting down the studio. It's rumored that Rick Baker is another one of those guys who has a little gold statue. He's the guy who did the visual effects in American Werewolf in London. I'm sorry. He's the one who did Harry in the Hendersons too. He also did the makeup on Thriller.
Oh, that's
so this guy was pretty talented. The #1 and the #2 in the business at the time, it was Stan Winston and Rick Baker. And when Bottin went down, it is rumored that Rick Baker actually showed up on the set and helped too, because both of them liked Rob Bottin so much and his creativity and his imagination. They wanted to make sure that the studio didn't fuck with him, because if you're down a week and you're on technically a special effect driven movie, you don't want the studio to start breaking your balls on it. So it's rumored. Now it's confirmed that Stan Winston did show up, but it's also rumored that Rick Baker showed up for a little bit too to help out.
Now, just to go back about 30 seconds there, were you talking Thriller as in Michael Jackson's Thriller?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, he did all the zombies.
Yeah, I've thrown Rob Bottin's and Rick Baker's wiki in the side chat too. But if I'm looking at Baker, there's a bunch of stuff here. He worked on The Exorcist, King Kong, Star Wars.
Well, he worked with Dick Smith for Exorcist stuff.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at filmography on the wiki.
Okay.
So I'm just jumping around at anything I recognize. I see Star Wars. I see, like you said, American Werewolf in London. I see Thriller.
Top grossing films.
Dude, Videodrome.
Oh my.
Amazing shit.
Let's see. Coming to America, Gorillas in the Mist. Jesus Christ. The Rocketeer. Oh God. There's only one reason I remember that movie, and that's Jennifer Connelly. Oof.
Man, that chick has always been hot, but when I saw Requiem for a Dream, it just killed my boner.
Yeah, no, that kind of she was not pretty in that one. No one was.
Yeah. That movie is only one of like 2 movies that ever disturbed me on a core level. I mean, yeah, sure, there's movies that can make you cry or, scare you or make you laugh, but that movie and Trainspotting are the 2 movies that really made me incredibly uncomfortable that I was actually watching it.
Have you ever seen Jacob's Ladder?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'm okay with it. Well, shit, I write horror for a living. So you know, in my real life, that's what I do. But the way that they presented those two movies and the frenetic pace that they had with it,
Mhm.
it was unsettling. And I can't, to this day, I still can't watch Train Spotting just because of the fact that it makes me ill by the end of it.
Mhm.
No, with me and Requiem, I can only probably watch it once a year. And then I'm like, I don't want to see this again. But then it kind of creeps back in my mind. I haven't seen it in a while.
Well, and I mean, uh, I'm surprised that there weren't at least a couple Oscars doled out for it, because I will say, as far as Requiem for a Dream goes, Ellen Burstyn's performance was just flooring. I mean, because she had everything, and she just knew that she needed to do something else, and then she got into her own drug monkey, and then it just, you know, drove her straight into the ground. You know, I couldn't really give a fuck about Jared Leto or Marlon Wayans because they were, you know, they were on that path. I've seen people on that path. I know where it's going, and you know, I've been to a couple of funerals of those guys. But I thought, you know, out of the main characters, I really thought at least one would pull out.
Oh,
And Aronofsky was like, no, fuck you. You know, it's just like, you know, back when I was a teen playing D&D, and it was the whole, you know, you get a whole party wipe. It's like, fuck you, everybody dies. Well, no, somebody has to live.
Separate party.
Huh?
You never separate the party. I reiterate.
No, this is like a team wipe. Well, there's 6 people on the team, and all of a sudden 100 orcs roll up over the hill.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
And it's like, oh, run.
because yeah, there's two things from that movie I always remember. One is when Leto reveals his arm, which is just beyond fucked up, and it's like black, and it's
Oh,
fuck
dude,
that shit.
I've seen that IRL. That's horrible.
That's disturbing as fuck.
I've seen leg like that, so yeah.
And then the other one is, which is mildly humorous, and it became a bit of a meme at the time. But when Jennifer Connelly's character is at the end of her arc, and that old man is just like ass to ass, and it's the most creepy way possible.
Yeah.
How do you want it? Ass to ass. You're like, oh, god damn.
Because, yeah, I'm sitting there going, no, Jennifer, no, just come fuck me.
Yeah.
I will give you money.
Yes, you can buy drugs through me.
I will hook you up. I know a guy who knows a guy.
Mm-hmm.
But
everybody knows a guy who knows a guy, but
have you guys ever run into a movie that is, I mean, disturbing on a core level?
That's what I was trying to say about Jacob's Ladder. That's something that kind of disturbed me, just because you weren't really sure whether he was crazy or not in the thing till the end. And I kind of get the ending. I liked how it went, but it was also just a letdown for the whole movie before that point too.
Well, no, it was
to me.
It was a nice, big, great fuck you.
Yeah, it was.
And if there's people in the chat who haven't watched Jacob's Ladder, then fuck you, because he was dead.
Yeah, do it. Watch it, regardless.
Well,
that
kind of reminds
surprise
me.
Ending.
That kind of reminds me of you guys ever see Primal Fear?
Oh yeah.
That's another one where it's like, ha, fuck you.
Yeah. I'm like, wow, this Edward Norton cat, I gotta keep up with him.
Yeah, he seems to be going places.
And then he just now he's you know the Hollywood story on him, right?
Probably not. Tell me.
No, I don't.
He prima donna'd American History X, so much so that he harassed the original director to want to take an Alan Smithy credit. Do you guys know what an Alan Smithy credit is?
No, enlighten us.
Okay, just real quick. If a director gets pissed off and doesn't want to be associated with the movie anymore, he'll take an Alan Smithy credit. Alan Smithy is a fake guy, never existed, but he has directed more movies than anybody else in the history of Hollywood, over 100 years worth.
Really?
Oh yeah. And so,
Okay,
so Edward Norton.
I get it. It's
kept,
like
it's basically a pseudonym. It's just one of those. It's just one of those. I don't want anything to deal with it. Now the director on it at the time was Tony Kaye, and Tony Kaye is a pretty decent director. But Edward Norton just kept fucking with him and kept fucking with him, and finally Edward Norton didn't have any rights to it, but he kept crashing the editing sessions to the point where Tony Kaye just literally walked out. I mean, you know, Norton got a Best Actor out of it, but you know, here's the funny thing: American History X got nominated for Best Actor and Best Director, and I think Best Movie. I'm not real sure, but anyway,
Can look it up.
that's the reason why they couldn't take Tony Kaye's name off of it, because it would have been the first time Alan Smithy had been nominated for an Academy Award.
And that would have been kind of awkward.
Yeah.
wow.
So, you know, instead of being able
Because no one's going to show up when they announce his name.
yeah. And I mean the guy's talented. I mean, he's more known nowadays for the music videos that he did. But yeah, that whole thing soured him, and he was like, fuck you. So Edward Norton's a prima donna. As a matter of fact, he had a picture deal that he had to finish for Fox, for 20th Century Fox. It was a 3-picture deal. And one of them was the Italian Job. Now, if you watch the Italian Job with, and this is the remake, of course, if you watch the Italian Job with him in it, you can see him literally walking through the fucking movie. He didn't want to do it. He didn't want to be there, and it shows. But since he did that one, they said, what do you want to do for your third film? And he picked Fight Club.
Oh, I was about to say, Fight Club's pretty good. When was that? But that makes sense now.
Yeah, Fight Club.
Wait, let me get this straight. Sorry if I may interrupt. So was American History X part of the 3-picture deal?
From what I believe was.
So in other words, first movie pisses the director off so bad that he takes an Alan Smithy, but gets nominated for Best Actor, then walks through the Italian Job, and then does Fight Club. That's a hell of a trio. That's an arc and a half right there.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember whether or not they had. Well, I can always look it up. If the Italian Job was done before or after Fight Club, I just know that he was
Italian Job came out in 2003. Fight Club 99.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Then his deal was to get Fight Club locked down first, and then he'd do whatever bullshit that they wanted him to do.
Okay.
Okay.
So, and he was a total dick with Italian Job.
Fascinating. And based on the Wikipedia, it looks like American History X, he got nominated for Best Actor, and that was the only nomination in regards to the film. But he lost to Roberto Benigni in Life is Beautiful. What the hell? I have never heard of that movie in my life.
It's not.
I've never heard of the movie or the person.
It's an Italian film. And,
I gathered that.
And Benigni was a concentration camp. In a concentration camp, and he was a clown, and he tried to cheer people up.
And that,
during the Nazi occupation. I think that's the one.
and that beat out American History X.
Yeah.
Oof.
Really? So a clown going around saying, "Hey, what's the German's favorite number?" 9. It beat out American History X.
Yeah, but see, the thing about it was there was so much
Right.
racial tension around American History X.
Well, that's kind of the point of a controversial movie like that, to show that hate comes from both sides.
Well, but if you go back,
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
well, but if you go back to when the movie actually came out, they were literally protesting it on both sides. The Klan for misrepresentation and the NAACP for propping up white supremacists by giving them a movie. So this movie was getting this movie
was getting shit on from everybody, and that's why it won.
It was getting fucked in all holes.
Even the belly button.
Yeah, yeah, ears, nose, anything. I mean, they were going against them. Although it wasn't as cool, I'll tell you the coolest protest that I ever saw. I went to see the Dead Kennedys. And,
no way.
And opening up for the Dead Kennedys were the Violent Femmes. But actually opening up for them with picket signs, walking in the front, it was at a college. Walking in the front of the auditorium were nuns dressed up in full habits, picketing the Dead Kennedys. Wow. I wish I would have had a camera with me, but this is the 80s, so I wish I would have had a camera with me, man. I would have loved to have taken some pictures. That would have been a slice of cultural life.
But the Violent Femmes, aren't they a one-hit wonder? Technically?
Well, Blister in the Sun still gets a shitload of play.
That's what I'm saying.
But they got a decent following, and this was when they had their first album out. They were curtain jerking for them.
Yeah, with the immediate success of their release of their self-titled debut album in '83, featuring many of the well-known songs, including "Blister in the Sun" and 3 songs I've never heard of.
Which songs did they list?
Oh, crap. I just closed the Wikipedia. Give me 2 seconds here. Violent Femmes. It says featuring many of the well-known songs: "Blister in the Sun," "Kiss Off," "Added Up," and "Gone Daddy Gone."
Yeah, Added Up and Gone Daddy Gone have been used in several soundtracks.
Well, apparently it went platinum, so I guess that's not bad for a debut album.
And I think oh God, I can't remember, man. I had so many drugs back then. I can't remember when it was. It was mid '80s when I saw them. About the same time around when I saw Beastie Boys.
Ted Kennedy, Beastie Boys. I'm sensing a pattern.
Dude, you can pretty much name anybody who was popular in the '80s because, I'm in my 50s, so back in the '80s it cost like $6 to $8 to go see a concert. So whoever came in town, we were seeing them.
Yeah, because somebody was talking to me the other day, and they're like, "Hey, I think I was walking to do laundry, and I had a Metallica shirt on." The guy was like, "Hey, they're coming into town soon." And I'm like, "Oh, really? Maybe I'll go see them." And they're like, "Yeah, but it's like $112 a pop." And I'm like, "What? Fuck that."
That's why I've never been to a live concert outside of
neither have I.
Halls.
The most I've ever paid, it was for 2 concerts. They tie at $50 a pop. One was a Steve Miller Band, and I only did that because my wife at the time was a big Steve Miller fanatic. And then the one that I do not regret paying $50, I would have paid double the amount for it, was Pink Floyd on their first tour back around without Roger Waters.
Now, I may not have gone to see any live bands like that, but I have gladly paid $50 to go see a few comedians comedians live. I watched Ralphie May when he was in town. Brian Regan's come through a couple times.
Mm,
Oh shit.
damn, I can't tell you. I can't tell you who the comics that I've seen because they all kind of blur. The only one that sticks out is Sam Kinison.
Yeah. Sam
Kinison though, he was kind of played when we saw him in concert. He didn't have a new set, and the new stuff that he added felt a lot like filler.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to see him, so that's kind of cool. Now, as far as it goes, the band that I've seen the most times. Are you ready to break the pattern?
REM.
Weird Al Yankovic.
Yes.
Oh, you know what's funny? I shit you not. Do you see the YouTube chat right now?
I don't. Hold on.
Redacted username. Saw Weird Al for $25 at a local venue. I shit you not. He brought him up, and then you said it. That's too funny. That's some serendipity right there.
Nice.
Redacted. Which show did you go to?
Really? Though, how many times have you seen Weird Al live?
5.
5, really? I assume at multiple times, not like it. Or by multiple times I mean maybe a couple years between them.
I have seen Weird Al in 4 different decades.
I am told
Wow.
I got to meet Weird Al when I was a kid, but I must have been too young to remember. And that's sad because I really love Weird Al, man. I got a couple of commissions in honor of some of his music. I'll share those in the side chat in a second.
Okay, well, here is the cool thing about Weird Al Yankovic. If you go to his concert, he has a meet and greet afterwards that you could pay and get into. But he will also, after the meet and greet's done, he will sit on the steps of his tour bus, and anybody who wants an autograph gets an autograph. He will stay there until the line is gone.
Nice.
And he's done that 4 out of the 5 times that I've seen him. Oh, wait a minute. There's another band that I've seen 5 times that it was not on purpose. Chevelle. They suck. I hate them. They were usually always, mid-card or curtain jerking for the band that I wanted to see. Oh, wait. I've seen Iron Maiden 5 times.
Wow, that's kind of all over the place. We got Chevelle, we got Iron Maiden, and Weird Al.
Oh, dude. One of my prized concert T-shirts. Because if I go to a concert, I'm stuck with I got to get a T-shirt. And back then you pay $6 or $8 for a ticket, then you pay $10 for a shirt. You have a wardrobe in no time. But the shirt that I love the most, we went and saw Iron Maiden was headlining. Okay, Dio was the second.
Oh wow!
The band that I came to see that opened up the show, Motorhead.
Holy shit! That's a hell of a trifecta.
Oh man, I tell you what, this was probably like a year before Dio died, and I'd already seen Dio. He did. I saw him with the Blacks when he was with Black Sabbath with the Heaven and Hell tour, which was Blue Oyster Cult opening up for Black Sabbath, which was a lot of fun. But yeah, I mean, I was there to see Motorhead, and that's one of my prized possessions. I've got a Born to Lose Motorhead shirt. Although Iron Maiden did have a pretty fucking cool shirt there. On the front of the shirt, it said 666, the number of the beast. Then on the back of it, it said 664, the bloke next door. But yeah, well,
so go ahead.
I just grew up in the I just grew up in the era where that was our entertainment.
There was no YouTube.
There were no YouTubes. There was no LARPing. Oh,
Oh.
hey.
Oh, I'm sure there was LARPing, but there was.
There was no fireball packets with guys yelling fireball, fireball, lightning, lightning. But wait, so if I heard that right, you got Motorhead opening up with Dio in the middle, then Iron Maiden, or was it the other way around?
Nope, you got the order correct.
Jesus.
Nice. See, I grew up on country with fucking my dad's radio in the car. That's all that he would play in the house. So I grew up with that for the first 16 years of my life. And that and Weird Al.
Oh, God.
And from there, I expanded my musical library as soon as I got out into college. So I'm still missing a lot in life, you could say. But I did get to see one small band before they got big down in Texas. Nothing More. You ever heard of them?
Mm-mm. I have not.
How about Distant Lights?
Nope.
No? Well, dang.
I don't.
Okay. Well, never mind. Look them up.
I honestly don't. I honestly don't keep up on them anymore. If I hear a song that sounds cool, then I'll pull and take a listen to, see if they've got anything good going on. But my first country concert was was the Statler Brothers and the Oak Ridge Boys. I've seen Kenny Rogers in concert, Travis Tritt. One of the ones I really wanted to go see, but I missed the ride down there, was when they had Kid Rock, Metallica, Korn, and somebody else. And Kid Rock actually did country songs. It was at a motor speedway.
Wait, Kid Rock actually did country?
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's put out a country album too.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
Oof.
Well, and what, he's running for office now, isn't he?
I think he pulled out of that.
What state was that?
Michigan, I assume.
Oh shit.
Yeah. He was going for a representative for the district in Detroit.
Ooh. Well, shame that's not in my area, because he'd gotten my vote regardless.
Oh, dude, I would have loved to have been up in Minnesota when Jesse ran for governor.
Oh man,
he was a trip, and it's just like, now this is the one political thing I will say for the night. My wife and my stepchild hate Donald Trump. And I was beaming.
Bad of a job though, don't you think?
I was beaming ear to ear for her to come home yesterday, and I was like, "Did you hear about Trump? Did you hear about Trump?"
Oh,
she's
Jesus.
like, "What?" And I'm like, "I have 2 words for you: Space Force." And she looked at me.
You know what? You know what that means? If there's a Space Force, there's going to be Space Marines.
Well, she just looked at me and rolled her eyes, and I'm like, now you cannot say that Donald Trump is not the most entertaining fucking president that we've had in my lifetime.
That would be heresy.
I laugh my ass off. I've got like 3 or 4 other preloaded memes, but I haven't I haven't used them yet. I'm just kind of waiting. Because, I mean, Donald Trump, there isn't a day goes by where he doesn't amuse me. He's like that uncle that that survived the 60s, but not necessarily all the acid trips that he took. I mean, he gets more and more entertaining, and I can't wait to see what he does in his second term.
Oh, you think it's a sure thing? A lock deal at this point?
Well, I mean, the only thing they have to do is bring up the inherent corruption in the Democratic Party, because they're really not cleaning the decks. Not at all.
And the Democratic Party and the White House and the FBI and the CIA and
The IRA.
I didn't say all that.
I said
I mean-
the IRA.
I mean, because the presidency,
I need all of them. That's it.
the presidency is like a video game. It's turn based. Okay, the Democrats got it for a while. Okay, time for the Republicans to have it for a while. There are very few exceptions where you'll see a Democratic president succeeding a Democratic president, and the same with the Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and well, not only that, but you'll very rarely see a one-term president. The only time you get into that is either they died because they were assassinated, or in Nixon's case, he just quit.
Well, didn't the first Bush only do one term?
Did he?
Senior?
I don't remember.
I don't think so, but
Maybe.
Let me see.
maybe.
Did it go Reagan, Bush Sr., and then immediately into Clinton? It might have.
Okay, here we go. Presidents of the United States. Thank you, Norwegian Wikipedia.
Norwegian.
Yeah, I think Wikipedia is either it's based in like the Netherlands or one of those no, we're not Aryan people countries.
Oh, I thought you were looking at, Wikipedia Norway or something like that. Like they have different versions of it.
Well, let's see here. Okay. Did you guys really have to make it into a color graph chart? You fuckers. Yeah, Bush only had one term. Herbert Walker.
Because then Clinton went for 8, then Bush Jr. went for 8, and then Obama went for 8, correct?
Yep.
And then we almost had Clinton again because we're not a dynasty. No. We don't do that shit.
You know what? I have nothing against lesbians. I even enjoy their porn on occasion. But
you know what? I'm sorry. I'm for a female president, and I'm for a black president. I say we put Oprah in the office after the Trump's next run.
I'm going to kick you from this stream.
Oh, wow.
And you get a new car, and you get a new car. Everybody in the nation gets a brand new car.
Hey, you know what? Maybe once she gets old enough, Beyonce can run with Jay-Z as the first lady.
Jay-Z? Oh, Beyonce? Okay, I got you.
Jay-Z as the first lady. Okay.
The first man.
Well, I don't know. She's been treating him like a bitch for years now.
Oof.
They're both going to get conversion therapy. Not conversion therapy, but you know what I mean.
Wow. Conversion therapy. Oof.
Damn it. I said the wrong word.
They're not gay. What are they converting from?
Where they're gonna get they're trans. They're both trans. They're gonna get that trans surgery.
Oh,
thing.
okay. So
And there we go. Then he'll be the first lady.
I see.
Hey, did you guys ever see the meme where it's got Obama and both Obamas, Barack and Michelle, holding up signs? Somebody photoshopped out of them. Barack says, "Yes, I'm gay," and Michelle says, "My balls itch."
Yeah, I think I saw something similar to that where it was like, Obama's sign said, "Hey guys, how are you?" And then Michelle said something to the effect of, "My dick is huge."
But I don't care if she's a tranny or not. I'm just glad that they're out of office. Just because, I look on the presidency like Saturday morning cartoons. You got to entertain me. And
well, as long as I keep fucking my words up, I'll try.
Hey, Trump's been, I even got a little Lego figure of Trump with a "Make America Great Again" hat. Just because he amused me so much, I might as well have the toy.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, if they ever came out with a Bill Clinton one that came with a splotched blue dress and a saxophone, I'd buy that Lego figure too.
Don't forget the cigar attachment.
Yeah, sometimes a cigar is just a cigar.
And sometimes it's a dildo. Oops.
Wow.
Allegedly.
Anything can be enough.
Well, technically, she did confirm that though. in her tell-all book.
Oh, wow.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
It's good to be the king.
My tobacco products did.
What is that? Depends. What is your definition of is?
What your definition of is.
I just looked at,
hey, good night, redacted username.
They're dropping like flies.
oh yeah.
Slowly but surely.
Have a good night. Unless you want to come in here, I was going to throw you the link, but if you're out, you know. Wait a minute. Have I ever heard you on a stream? I don't know if I have. Fuck you. I'm going to throw you the link anyway.
Why not? To the Oprah thing, though, if we can go back to that, I guess from a philosophical perspective, I wouldn't mind Oprah in the sense that, to my knowledge, she's never been involved in politics. She's obviously successful monetarily and business-wise, so she must have some acumen that I can respect. But in terms of what she stands for, at least from what I'm aware of, it seems to be just your standard, liberal talking points. So I'd kind of be meh.
Well, once the SJWs lose the war, maybe she'll switch some of her stances. Who knows?
Maybe.
Honestly, I'm still at the point where there's two types of women that I've met. Either they're very passive, very, very 50s, or they're incredibly cutthroat.
Mm-hmm.
There's usually no definitive fence sitter, if I can phrase it that way. I would think that a woman in the time of crisis in the biggest chair would either do one of two things, and that would be completely overreact or just completely blow it off. And you really can't do that when you run the greatest office in the world.
Fair enough. I mean, you cannot be a fencer. You got to have an opinion on everything, even if that opinion is you don't have an opinion.
But we just got to be more inclusive, guys. We just got to hear all the voices.
You know what? If you want to be inclusive, you wouldn't be excluding people, dumbasses.
Well,
you're just a white male.
I am, and you know what? I'm bi too, so I'm one of your motherfucking privileged, unprivileged statuses. So fuck you too.
As a white male, you're probably just using the bi as a shield to cover your ass. It's all an op.
Well, you know what? You know what? I'm a furry too, and you know what? That puts me at the lowest, at the low. So you know what? Fuck
damn.
you.
You're 2 out of 10 on the privilege scale. My God.
That's right.
See now
that's right.
That makes me want to ask a question about plugs, but I'm not gonna.
Whoa. What kind of plugs?
The answer is yes.
Are we back to Bill Clinton?
No, but the answer is yes.
All the furries that I know, I've not found an exception. I should say all the male furries. Some of the females, but
Wait, female furries exist? I thought they were all men acting like females. No, I'm just kidding. But that is an unfortunately high number.
Yeah,
it's a sausage fest in the furry community.
It is.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. I'm bi, so you know what? Fuck it.
Hey, more for you.
That's right.
That's right.
I did a mascot for high school, and I couldn't stand to be in the fucking suit. I mean, just all sweating up and shit. I can't understand how the people who work. I mean, I know that there are built-in air conditioners for like
Mhm.
going to Walt Disney World or Six Flags.
Oh, they
The
got fucking liquid cooled vests and shit like that now too.
But I mean, the one time that I did it was the last time, because man, I literally lost like 10 pounds. I poured out it was a bird costume. I poured out the feet of it, and it was literally, I mean, I had like
Just an
an
inch
inch
of
of
sweat.
water in my shoes.
Yeah, you didn't you didn't have that built properly or ventilated properly at all. I'll say that. But also, like, greater percentage of us, like 90%, don't have suits either. So
Oh, it's only the most hardcore 10%.
the richest bastards probably.
Oh. Well, yeah, then Doc, I got an idea. Why don't you and a Wild Fox appears have a Discord discussion where he can give you tips on how to get your suit just right.
Well,
Oh,
I unfortunately I am I'm in that bottom 10% of wage earnings in America.
well,
So I'm broke as fuck though.
Well, this was a one-time deal to convince me that I didn't need to be suited up. Now, I've done like prosthetics for movies and shit, but no, I don't want to be fully covered. And
The
besides,
prosthetics can even be worse though. I mean, you're gluing some
no,
of that stuff onto you. That's rubber and foam straight onto the
yeah,
skin.
but it's infinitely more breathable. You usually have a better field of vision with it. And come on, I did this in the fucking early '80s.
Fair enough.
Yeah, yeah.
It all just depends how it's built. So yeah, fair enough.
In the early 80s, we walked both ways up a hill in the snow barefoot.
Oh, I tell you what, I was a part of. This almost has nothing to do with anything, but it made me
Fantastic.
it made me think of mascots. We had two schools that were consolidating,
Mhm.
and one of them was the Falcons. It was the Falcons mascot. The other one was Dragons mascot. So they decided to come together and they did a vote, and the vote was for they decided to call the new mascot of the new school the Firebirds.
Oh, they could have
Now,
made it the Fagins or the Drafalkins, the Dralkins.
um, yeah, Drawkins would have been cool. I actually submitted for Snail Darters, but they weren't cool with
Snail
that.
darters.
Yeah,
Oh man.
I like the Fagins.
but
Yeah. Or
Fagins would have been great.
the fighting Fagins.
but when the class rings came out, the logo was supposed to be a Firebird, and some of them complained. They were like, oh well, it looks more like a falcon. You guys are getting away with shit. And somebody was like, well, no, if you turn it this way, it looks like a dragon. It's like, oh wow, it kind of does.
And
Then
if you turn it this way, it's a Mockingjay.
well, we get to our first assembly, and the mascot comes out in the mascot costume. Almost looks exactly like the old Falcons costume, except for it's different colors because different school. My buddy leans over to me and goes, "Hey, you want to flip that fucker upside down and see if it looks like a dragon?"
So did you?
Sorry, non sequitur. I'm back.
I liked it. I appreciate non sequiturs.
What do you want, Cat?
Fantastic.
What do you want? What do you want, kitty? Well, you can't have it, so suffer. Okay.
Go play with the fucking possums.
No. Oh, these
My
cats.
dog heard your cat on the speakerphone. She needs to go out now.
Gotta find that cat.
Yeah, be right back.
Yeah. Cat's giving me a stare down. I'm like, ain't happening. You only get fed twice a day. And because it's summer and it gets hot around here, I always make sure that I fresh water them like 3 times.
Just take a can and dump it on them.
Give me a Gatorade victory bath.
Exactly.
No, but she's gotten into the thing where I've got a little piece of string that I use like as a nervous habit that I twirl, and anytime that she sees it, she wants it. And
so if you just threw it on the ground, nothing would happen. But the act of you spinning it around,
oh yeah,
you're interested.
Well, and since I spin it around, and because it's hot, it gets sweaty and it gets salty. And she likes to chew on that because she likes the salt. I mean, that kind of sounds gross now that I said it out loud, but
she likes your bodily fluids.
Yeah. And they're both dumber than a bag of hammers.
What was it? A box of rocks?
My favorite still, the only time that I've ever really spontaneously just laughed out loud, something that hit me from left field, is when I was in a bar and this girl turned and looked at one of the guys who was hitting on her, and she just gave this nice smile. This is down in Carolina. She goes, "Why, ain't you just a big bag of dicks?" And I literally spit my drink. I did not see that coming.
A big bag of dicks. I can't imagine what the context was for her to say, "Well, ain't you just a big bag of dicks?"
Well, yeah, because he was. I mean, the fucker had no game. He was running old lines. And after she said that, she just kind of looked at me because I was laughing my ass off, and I started waving her off. I was like, I'm not gonna try to pick you up. Ain't gonna happen. We're all good here.
You see, is it bad that I don't have any lines, or I don't think of any, or I don't use any? I just talk like a normal person.
Me too, normally. Or I used to be really good at karaoke, and apparently that made panties wet.
Noted. All right, I'm taking note. Karaoke wet. Got it.
Because if you can sing, apparently that works just as good as having a sense of humor to women.
Oh, I think I got the sense of humor part. I think I got that. I don't know. Again, personal opinion, might be hubris on my part. But no, I never go up and go, "Hey lady, what's shaking?" Like that never occurs to me. Or, "Hey, they rearranged the alphabet and they put you and I together." No.
Yeah.
If you paid me or double dared me, I'd do it, but I'm not going to go out of my way.
Oh yeah, I spent. I went through a phase once where I was like, no pussy is good enough for the problems. Now that came directly after dating a Puerto Rican woman that I woke up in the middle of the night and she's sitting on the bed with a fucking knife. So I'm like, yeah, no, not gonna do this anymore. So I would literally, if a woman came up and started flirting with me or some shit, I would try to find the corniest lines to use. Or one of my favorite ones, if somebody was just really getting on me, they were drunk, and I would use the line I would use is, "Well, yeah, I guess you can come home with me, but are you okay with herpes?"
That's one way to do it.
That dissuaded about 80% of them.
Another good one would be like, "Oh, I would love to show you to my mother. You guys would get along so well. You remind me a lot of her."
Well, when they're drunk enough, they really couldn't give a shit.
Yeah.
But Oh God, yeah, um we did like a Mardi Gras kind of thing. Of course, I've never been to New Orleans, but I do want to go one of these days. And we got a bunch of beads from somewhere. And if you want to ever feel like a total dick and being commander of the beads and women going up is like, oh, I want that bead. Can I have it? I'll show you my tits. And literally, you look at them and go, I no.
I'm good.
PTSD. No, I got a feeling I'll be paying for it later.
Yeah.
Or if you go, you know what? I will give you these beads if you don't show me your tits.
Yep. I will willingly sacrifice potential good tits later just to not see yours.
Yeah, I mean, share that for the man you marry.
Oh, that poor sap.
Just try to tie it back in.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm thinking since there's 3 of us here, I'm wondering who the 4th person is, just watching in the shadows. Or
I'm back.
Or is it kind of like how I was on my first stream where I got so drunk that I passed out and they couldn't get rid of me?
Don't know.
That was fun.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, I'm definitely not doing that again. But I thought everybody was playing by the rules where, you had to take a shot or a drink, and they were just fucking sipping on beers. So 28 shots later, I was fucked.
28?
Jesus.
Christ.
Yeah, but I did it in an hour and a half, so it's not.
Oh, okay. Well, only an hour and a half.
How did you not get alcohol poisoning?
Oh, I died from alcohol poisoning once.
Oh shit!
But it took drinking a whole liter of vodka.
God damn!
Wow.
So wait, you were legally dead and they brought you back?
Yep, I was dead for a couple minutes from what they said.
Well,
Cool.
in that case, I gotta ask: Did you see anything?
I was in a coma for 3 days.
So that's a no.
So
they induced a coma to make sure that my kidneys would be able to function properly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There was a big long explanation, but they did it just to make sure that my body would have a slow recovery time to get the toxins out.
Mm-hmm.
And no, I didn't see shit, but it was a good nap.
Fair enough.
2-day vacation.
Fair enough.
I woke up in a hospital in ICU in Atlanta, and I'm like, what the fuck? Well, you've been out for 3 days. And I was like, damn. But then I realized, if you wait a minute, have either of the two of you been in the hospital for a long stay?
Not
Nope.
that long.
Okay, then I'm guessing neither one of you know the joys of having a catheter.
No.
No, that doesn't sound pleasant at all, from what I understand.
Well, it really doesn't matter, because normally when they put a catheter in, you're out. But when they take the catheter out, you're awake.
Ugh. Fuck that.
Yes. I mean, I swear to God, if my penis could have turned into an innie, it certainly would have.
Well,
But-
on that note, it's 11:40 for me, and I got to go to bed. So thanks for having me, Dog. Nice to speak with you. A wild fox appears.
Hey, nice to talk to you. Hey, man, nice shot. Nice to meet
Hey,
you.
man, nice shot. You were always welcome, brother. And I tell you, I have you in a plan of mine that I actually want to do a doctor on call stream where we get people who are kind of not who are boomering out, so we can all sit around and do a drinking stream maybe and just tell fun stories.
Okay, whatever.
So you would cordially be invited to that. I just have to figure out when to do it.
Just give me a time.
I certainly shall. And I would like to thank Hey Man Nice Shot for showing up. And of course, I'll probably go for maybe until midnight, and then I will hit the bed. I don't think there's going to be anything bright or enlightening that we'll be able to share, but at least there's somebody out there bored that can't find a good talk radio station. Then, we'll do our bit.
Well, how about this? Since we brought up Kid Rock earlier, you want me to play Hey Man Nice Shot out with some Kid Rock here?
Yeah, go for it.
Are we doing Ba with the Ba?
Nah.
Damn it.
Well, I've been sitting here trying to find myself. I get behind myself. I need to rewind myself. Looking for the payback. Listen for the playback. Say that every man bleeds just like me. And I feel like number one, yet I'm last in line. I watch my youngest son, and that's the time. I take too many pills, it helps to ease the pain. I made a couple dollar bills, still I feel the same. Everybody knows my name. Say it way out loud. A lot of folks fuck with me. It's hard to hang out in crowds. I guess that's the price you pay to be some big shot like I am. Outskirts stands and one night stands. Still I can't find love. When your walls come tumbling down, I'll always be around, yeah. Thanks for coming out again. Hey man, nice shot.
If I had a lighter, I'd grab it.
All right.
Dude, that was good.
I will always be around. People don't know about the things I say and do. They don't understand about the shit that I've been through. It's been so long since I've been home. I've been gone for way too long. Maybe I forgot all the things I missed. So somehow I know there's more to life than this. I said it too many times and still stand firm. You get what you put in, and people get what they deserve. Still I ain't seen mine. No, I ain't seen mine. I've been given, and it just ain't been given. Been walking that there line, so I think I'll keep on walking with my head held high. Keep moving on. And only God knows why. Only God. Only God.
Only God.
Only God knows why. Only God knows why. Only God knows why. Take me to the river, Zadly, take me to the river. Hey, hey.
Nice.
Jesus Christ, that was great.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah, he got his gimmick. If only he can stay live and do some live stuff.
I can't. My net's too crappy to hold anything live.
Well,
I gotta record all my stuff.
Well, hey man, nice shot. You should go on his show. You can sing along.
Tuh. Me sing? That's a horrible idea. I would go like Barry White and, you know, only God knows why. Only God. You know, I tried some bullshit country. I can't sing for shit.
Well, hey man, I'd be glad to have you on the show regardless. It's nothing but a conversation just like this. No script, no plan, no nothing. I just try to keep up. You bring the conversation. We try to learn who you are.
Okay. Dude, just tell me a time. I'm there. Especially if I get to hear an encore of that. Christ.
Fair enough.
Oh, no, he's got some better stuff.
I'll put that into the show.
He did a couple songs when I did his stream. So, boy's got talent, and I'm certain he'll be able to pull something up for you.
All right, damn. Now I don't want to go. What the hell? You guys dragged me back in. Fuck a shower and work tomorrow. What the hell?
I request Pink Floyd because then I can sing along with it.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to look some of that up then. I don't have any of that printed out.
If I may,
like The Wall?
No.
No.
Well, all right. I won't speak for Doc. It is his request. But if it was me, I'd say "Wish You Were Here."
You're a man among gentlemen.
Oh, that was a good choice, was it?
Oh yeah. I love any of the stuff that's reflective about Sid. Because I mean, all of Dark Side of the Moon and Wish You Were Here were pretty much a tribute to Sid Barrett.
But that's a great tune.
But right now, hey man, nice shot. Make the request. What group does he need to have ready for you for the interview?
Oh God, it's a little on the spot. Let me think here. All right, I'm gonna go with the thing that jumped to my mind. Are you aware of a little group called The Who?
Who are you? Who?
Yeah.
No one knows what it's like to be a bad man.
Yeah, that one. How'd you know, Doc? You read my mind.
Called. Yeah. Hold on. Let me see here.
You know what my favorite BOC song is? Joan Crawford.
Oh, it's not Godzilla?
No. Joan Crawford is so fucking twisted. I love that song. Well, and I'm okay. If I have to pull one that's not all twisted, it has to be Burning for You.
No one knows what it's like to be a bad man, to be a sad man behind the wires. No one knows what it's like to be hated, to be faded, telling only lies.
I was doing the harmony.
My dreams, they aren't as empty. I'll just play
as my conscience
give you a little bit of background.
Seems
to be.
I
lonely.
Love
that's never free.
What it's like to feel these feelings
like I do.
And not
you.
No one lies back like it's thunder and
None of my pain and woe can show through.
But my dreams,
They aren't as empty
as
As
my
my conscience seems to be.
I have
All
ever
is
lonely.
a
Love is
blessing.
that's never free.
Yeah, we're taking this on the road when?
Toad on the road?
Oh, you know what's funny about that? I actually did my own version of Toad on the Road.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, all I did, I took Band on the Run by Paul McCartney and Wings.
Oh, yeah.
And every time they say Band on the Run, I replace Band with me saying Toad.
On the road.
I remember that.
Nice.
I forgot it was you that did that.
Yeah, it's bad. It's funny, but I didn't exactly put a whole lot of effort into my Toad. There was no singing. It was just the most monotone Toad.
Well, now, do you remember back in the well, this is probably late '80s, early '90s? The WWF had a call service for like $5. You could get somebody to you get a WWF wrestler to do a pre-recorded wake-up call. And it was funny because one of them was Undertaker singing Happy Birthday.
Oh God, the juxtaposition's great. I love
Wake
it.
up and smell what the Rock is cooking.
On your birthday.
God, wait a minute. Let me see if I can find it. I know it exists.
But I put Toad on the Road in the side chat. If anyone wants it, it's also in the YouTube chat. It's goofy.
Saving that for later.
Yeah, right after reading up on Stan Winston, Robin Bottin, and Rick Baker.
But dude, I'm such a fucking geek on all that stuff. I thought a long time ago, because I like to watch a lot of movies in a broad spectrum of them, that I could do it. To be like a to be like a movie critic, but you know, as the technology increased, it was painfully evident that it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah. I used to have a binder full of about like 200 movies. Had everything from the A-Team to Zoolander in there, man.
Ooh, alphabetized. Look at you.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah, it's not loud enough to hear. Damn it.
What? Toad on the Road?
No, the Undertaker.
Oh,
He does a happy birthday to you, and then you know, when they get to the name, you know, it's like, happy birthday, dear Eddie, happy birthday.
yeah. They just fill in the blank. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, somebody trying to do an Undertaker impersonation, because sure as shit, Mark Calloway didn't sit there and go, okay, here's a phone book list of names that you have to do today. I mean, being on the road 300 days a year back then, fuck that. You get the one recording, and then you figure out how to deal with it the other way. Okay, so wait a minute. There has to be like, in order to, and Wild Fox, this is to pad you for the conversation that you're going to have for and with Hey Man, Nice Shot. So can you give him a couple of other suggestions? Hey Man, Nice Shot.
Oh crap.
Yeah, on the spot.
How about? Oh Jesus! All right, I'll just go with the first thing that came to mind. What about "Take on Me"?
Take on me.
Take on me.
Take me on.
Take on me.
I'll be gone in a day or two.
Damn.
I can still hit the note. Okay, I can do it.
Okay, well, and save that so you can do the whole thing with guitar for when you talk to, hey man, nice shot. Don't do them all now. Don't shoot the wad.
Okay. Fair enough.
Although, do you know any other fastball?
No, I don't. All I know is the way.
Wait, are we talking about where were they going without ever knowing the way?
Yeah.
All I know is the way.
Do you know the way?
Even though the road
I
that
do
they
know the way.
walk on is paved in gold, it's always summer. They never get cold. Yeah.
If you ever learn which way to the top, I'll do the duet with you on that one.
All right, I'll look that up.
It's a pretty well. Most all the fastball stuff are pretty easy.
I just gotta see if it's on. Let's see, Ultimate Guitar or not. That's the site I use for printing out my chords and sheet music and stuff.
I have no idea what that is.
It's a website. Here, I'll send a link to "Wish You Were Here" on to the side chat.
Ultimate Dakota. Wow, 1,100,000 songs.
Yeah, good library.
That's a lot of shit.
Yeah,
That's a tear fear dinkum.
about 350.
You get that Loch Ness Master 350. 350. Every time he comes to the front door, you want 350.
Goddamn Loch Ness monster.
Well, it's just like, I mean, the neighborhood that I grew up in, it would not be uncommon to go, baby, let me give you your some yeah, I'm gonna give you a number here. You call me on this. It's P45 P45.
Sounds like an SNL bit from the 80s.
I shit you not. I know people who talk like that.
I don't know, but if anyone ever asks my number and I don't want to give it to them, I'll just write down 8675309.
Oh, you took my gimmick. God damn it.
Nah, sorry.
Actually,
oh shit.
I normally give them 611.
Or we could give him the suicide prevention hotline.
Oh, dude, yeah. Wish You Were Here is on there.
I'm decent, but I'm not sure if I'm that good.
It's honestly, unless it comes to the guitar solo, everything else is pretty easy on the chords.
Uh-oh, now if he does poorly, no he doesn't look so good.
Like I said, I'm decent, but I'm not that good. I'm more like a beginner level. I just I like singing more than the playing.
Yeah, I'm a karaoke fan myself.
The guitar was more out of necessity because who the fuck likes to listen to just a voice on singing anything? It just sounds retarded by itself, unless you're in the shower, you know.
Well, yeah, it's funny. I hate going to like, you know, the what I like to call the beach blanket bingo get-togethers, and there's somebody there with a guitar, and they can play but they can't sing for shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, you actually do get to jump in. Oh no, nobody wants Ed Sheeran. No, that's just wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of some stuff that's ballady without being too shitty.
Ballady.
Yeah, ballady.
Every rose has its thorn. Ugh.
Just
got
like
mad.
every cowboy sings a sad, sad song. Every rose has its thorn. By the way, did you hear that they're going to try to make a Bill and Ted's 3?
Really?
Yep.
I was just reading about that today. Get out of my head, Doc. It's starting to creep me out.
Well, I don't read a lot, but I look at a lot of pictures, especially when Stone Mexican guy was around.
Yeah.
Bastard.
Yep. Everybody. Well, you know how this goes. He'll be back in 2 days.
What happened?
A guy by the name of Stone Mexican guy, quote unquote, quit the internet. So he got rid of his Twitter, his Discord, everything, blah, blah, blah. But he's done this before.
Well,
So
he said he'd come back. He
Yeah.
said he'd come back, but he got family stuff to do.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
Look,
crap.
I kept quiet on Twitter for 7 years.
I just started like 2 months ago.
I still don't have a Twitter, and I'm gonna go without one for as long as possible.
Well, I even went and booked and booked a MySpace when they were doing that blunt stream with AP and Ghastly. They were just
Nice.
like, "Fuck this! We're all going back to MySpace because nobody ever bans us there." It's like, well, because nobody's there.
Yeah, who's paying attention?
Speaking of, did you get in battle for their top 8?
I was for a while, but it kind of doxed me because I put in a real name instead of Doc Griffin.
Oops.
So yeah, I don't give a shit. I don't care if somebody figures it out. They figure it out.
Ah, well.
Well, and if I remember correctly, when we were talking shop about OBS, you accidentally pretty much showed me everything, but I don't remember, and it was too small to see anyway. But you pointed out, you're like, "Oh, I guess you know who I am now," and I'm like, "I do."
I'm like, yeah,
I missed it.
It was kind of right there on the tab, but I'm not.
I've accidentally given out way too much information accidentally through screen sharing on this with a couple people. So I'm hoping they didn't have OBS recording at the time too.
Well, Anal Vape has seen my docs too and hasn't done anything with it. So what's that say about how much of a doxer Anal Vape is?
Quality
he's
gentleman.
merciless.
Oh yeah.
He's a demon. He has to be stopped.
And oh my God, I'm so hoping that this Kraut thing is gonna fucking blow over. I was done with it the moment they said his name.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there you go. You can do something. How about Karma Police? That should be a decent one without too many chord changes.
Oh, I just thought of one. What about the song from Fight Club? I think it's the Pixies.
Where's my mind? Yeah,
that's a good one.
Matter of fact, one of the Pixies lives in my town. I've been trying to get her onto the show. Kim Deal, because me and my lover went out and saw a movie called Hedwig and the Angry Inch. If you want to talk about the modern day Rocky Horror, Hedwig and the Angry Inch is definitely it. And it came to our town. And both the songwriter and the writer director were both there, and I sat outside one of the bars because it was non-smoking. I sat outside one of the bars talking with those two guys and the Deal sisters about pretty much nothing. But
fantastic.
That was kind of nice. I mean, because I thought they'd do a nose turn up and shit. But I guess I'm entertaining enough to strangers to where they won't just boot me.
Not a bad stat to have. Not bad a passive ability. If I can pull a D&D turn.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's probably why I got married twice, because they were impressed by, you know, whatever the it factor I had was.
It was your cologne.
Well, you know, I wasn't wearing the same cologne though.
Mm.
Yeah. So, you know, there's the mystery.
Were you wearing Elon Musk?
Were you wearing Mambo?
You know, I did try Mambo for a time when it first came out. Yeah. My fragrance of choice now, if I'm putting on the nines, is Claiborne for men.
I put on Speed Stick.
And well, and if I want to attract lesbians, it's usually Cool Water.
Cool Water.
Well,
Yeah, Cool Water. I have been told is the choice of butch lesbians.
So you could say it's catnip.
Mm-hmm.
All right, gentlemen, wow. I legitimately have to scoot. You don't have to play another outro for me leaving. I appreciate the thought. But yeah, if
Foxy's on Discord, so
okay. Well, here, let me look into that right now. While I'm here,
I'll send you my link here in the side chat in just 1 second.
But yes, obviously you both are welcome on my show if I ever do one again, even though it's been 2 weeks, because unfortunately I have this annoying thing from 9 to 5 weekdays. Maybe you've heard of it. It's called a job. Yeah, it's annoying.
Hashtag me too. That's all right. Yeah. I don't work that late. I'm a more AM shift, but still, I get you.
Well, hashtag better than being housebound for 4 years.
True. I cannot argue with that. The point being is that you're both welcome on my show if I ever get around to doing another one. Just throwing that invitation out there,
brother. If I think I can add anything to it, I certainly will hop.
In fact, you were on the last one, I think. But
I was.
But yeah, you were. But you didn't say a whole hell of a lot because Emmy kind of controlled the conversation, and after a while, not a bad line of thinking. You're like, I can't take this anymore, and you bailed.
Yeah, I did say bye though. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm done.
I'm done. Yeah.
You know, I'll be Frosty the Snowman. I'll come back again someday.
I forgot about Frosty. That's funny.
Oh, I should really send you some of my horror stories. Some of them are holiday related. I think actually you would probably get the humor in them.
Like Jack Frost?
Well, I don't want to give away the gimmick, but I've written about Valentine's Day. I've written about Halloween.
Ooh.
I've written about Easter and Christmas.
Valentine.
It's not what you think, and that's why people kind of like my writing, and I have like 10 whole fans.
Fair enough. Hey, you gave me a link to your YouTube, but I don't have anything of your writing. I'd like to take a read of some of that too.
Yeah, I suppose I could probably front some up. My shit. I know well, I could just dox myself if you want to listen to the audio versions, because they've done about a dozen of my stories audio wise.
Oh, okay. Yeah, send that to me in private. We don't want to get any kind of information out here that you don't want to share.
Yeah, well, yeah. I prefer not to dox myself on my own stream.
Yeah,
oh,
understandable.
Grow a pair. Come on, quit hiding behind the avatar, you pansy.
Well, you know what they've always said about me is that I may have an average-sized dick, but my balls are huge.
Well, maybe that's what makes it look average. It's actually enormous, but your balls are so big that it disproportionately makes everything look smaller.
Hey, I tried that Ron Jeremy shaving trick, and it's a lie.
It's a lie. Well, did you
No,
try his recommended pills too?
Well, it depends how
No.
big a butt you got, though. But that's another side tangent there. So
Yeah.
ignore that comment. Move along.
Yeah. On that note, I'm legitimately going to scoot. You guys are not going to keep me here all evening. God damn it.
Well,
We'll try not to. Take it easy. Hey, man, nice shot. And I'd be glad to have you on the show and to talk with you for an hour or so.
Cool. Well, I just said something. I think I just said evening all in the general chat. So I've acknowledged its existence.
All right.
All right.
Cool.
See you guys later. Bye-bye.
All right, have a good night.
Take it easy. Okay.
That's the closest you can come to internet friends.
Friends. Pretty much.
Yeah, but he's a cool character. You're gonna have fun having a talk with him.
All right. Yeah, I had a lot of fun already. I'm gonna be looking forward to it.
Yeah. He's got a great radio voice too. I wish I had that kind of voice.
Yeah, mine's kind of a little bit monotone. I want to say that, and I kind of break up my sentences a little bit, stutter sometimes, kind of trip up. Try not to say so much, but I'm still getting used to it.
Dude, I still have that. I went and made my own copy and put it up next to my monitor with the no ums, no uhs, no exceptions, and there's no such thing as dead air. And then on mine, it's kind of different. The third one that I have comes from my old telemarketing background, which is smile and dial, bitch. Because you can tell if somebody's smiling.
You really can.
Oh,
You'd
so
be
yeah,
surprised.
learn some songs to make us old people happy.
I've got I barely touched this book that I've got here for you. There's plenty more, but I will be looking up some new songs.
Yeah, I mean I like the gimmick personally. I mean,
Thanks.
I've sang along, both times that I knew the songs. I think that's fun.
Yeah, I like it.
But wow, it's like almost 12:15. Are you fucking kidding me? And I
No.
started this at like I think 9 or something. I'm just like, there's nothing on right now. I want something to be on.
So put your own thing on, and yeah, there you go.
I mean, I've already been told that what I really need to do is set the playlist for everything that's on my channel and just go to sleep and let it run so I can build up hours and get super chat ability. And I don't give a fuck because you still have to have 1,000 subs or something like that.
Right.
So
that kind of sucks, but I will say that I'm not gonna go about that route. I want to, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it naturally, man. Know what I'm saying?
well, I mean, I've got a Streamlabs link, but I never use it. I never promote it. I mean, it's just there.
Well, so do I, but I kind of don't want to put that up until I actually can go live, which really isn't going to be possible in my current living situation. So I'm not sure why I'm not doing that. Maybe I'm just stupid.
Well, I don't know. It's nice just to get into the routine.
Yeah. But again, I kind of feel bad about putting it up without actually being able to go live. That's my thing.
Well, but when you join the Space Force. Oh, okay, I got it. Now it's the two of us because finally something's on that's worth watching. It's
Woo!
the kill stream.
All right. Well, I guess take it easy. I see you over there.
Yeah, I'll probably stop in. Now, honestly, I don't interact with his chat very, very much. I just see what the hell that they're doing and then usually go and start watching. I'm in season 3 of Lucha Underground, and I still didn't finish Kumite today.
Ooh, how is Kumite? Is it back to its former glory?
Oh, I'll be honest with you. It's the closest version to what I originally remember because it's basically Tonkasal talking a lot, which is cool
Mhm.
because he goes off on his tangents, and that's what kind of made it fun for me. And then like today, he had on a fight about the whole doxing thing, and every so often, yeah, I mean he'll bring people on just to scrap,
Mhm.
but I like that now he's centering the Kumite back around himself again.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, I wish him luck, and I wish you luck, and good night to you, dude.
It has been fun a while, Fox appears, and looking forward to tuning into more of your shows. So get that shit working.
All right, I just gotta get some more people in to record. I'd be glad to talk to you again.
If you get that bored or you can't find anybody, sure, why not?
Fair enough. All
All
right.
right, brother. I will talk to you later. Thanks, everybody, for watching.
All right. Thanks for coming out. Take it easy, Doc Griffin. Good night.
And